Hi everyone. There was an error with the other link, but I've sorted it out now. So just bear with me now. Hopefully you're all seeing the new link. It'll take a second to work it out. I hope you can all work it out. Some of you may have already worked it out, which is good. The work on that. Yes. In fact, the game has finished a bit earlier. I had a problem with the broadcast. I had to redo it. If you wouldn't mind going to it now, that'd be great. All right, guys. So, yeah. Hi, Rick Tech. Hi, Strix and Tana. Hello. We're here. The other broadcast, unfortunately, had a lot of likes, but it was not the right one. Need to make sure that we get that sorted. Yeah, so an amazing performance by none other than our great friend Rohit Sharma, who finally scored a century away from home, which is great. I'm just going to make sure people are getting on this now. Baram Marani should be joining us very shortly. Here he is. That's better. Let's see. I mean, I'm sure people. Hello, Baram. How are you? I'm glad you've changed it. Yeah, would you believe I deleted it by accident? I hit a button, and once you stop it, you can't restart it, which is a real annoyance. Once you stop, it stops.
Okay.
That's the reason why. So we're live now. We've already got people crossing over, but it's funny. There's 100 people have viewed the other video, which is frustrating. I'm sure they'll work it out, won't they? Because you get another prompt, don't you?
No, but will the link that you have, is it the same link still, or it's different?
No. I recreated a completely new link.
No, I'm not talking about the StreamYard link. I'm talking about the YouTube thumbnail, like which the pre-match thumbnail. Is it still the same, or that also changes?
Yes. No, it's the same thumbnail.
Okay. Anyway, good show by India. So I think you will get a lot of Indian views today.
Oh yes,
Indian viewers are definitely happy. So let's see.
I think it was a magnificent. It's funny how it's gone straight back on. It almost looks like it's worked out that there's another issue here. That's good. All right. The reality is that India are in a fantastic position, as we know. And Peter Goldson said he hopes the match doesn't end up in a draw. I don't think so. I think that as long as bad light doesn't ruin play, I think that the pressure will really, really be on England. Really, really on England. I mean, they're 100. I'm just trying to look up. They're in front now. They're in front by. Let me have a look there. I think it's 150. No, 171. Is that right?
171. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay. So the reality is 171 in front. All I think they need is another 100, maybe 120 runs to try and psychologically match England's first inning score, which was 290. And that's going to make it very difficult because it's very rare, even though the pitch is getting somewhat better, it's very rare to get a better second inning score than your first inning score if you've got a reasonable first inning score. It's very rare on the ground to do that. So psychologically, India get another 120 runs.
And that too if it's day 4 and 5. That too in particular if it's day 4 and 5.
Exactly. So this is the moment when, okay, Kohli and Jadeja are in at the moment. They may not even want to use Rahane. They may want to put Punt and Chadwick Tucker in straight after to really step up the progression of the time in the innings. I think they should do that because they can afford to go for it now. Maybe not the first hour tomorrow. Maybe the first hour they need to, and that first session tomorrow they need to consolidate. But in that second session, they need to get the likes of all the players that we're talking about to actually just go about their business and go about the business and actually score quickly. I think they need at least a day in a session because of the conditions of the week.
One also advantage tomorrow morning is the ball is already 12 overs old. So that's also a little on the, I would say I hope the ball does not do too much. Like even if we see a India collapse from now, I would say it would be at least another 60, 70 runs minimum. So you're looking at a lead of 240. I don't know where 240 stands. 240 would be very iffy considering that what they're saying is that tomorrow's day of batting will be good. So still India looks in a reasonably good position. Tomorrow's first session, I think will
It's
say
been a fantastic effort all around, hasn't it?
yeah.
It's been a fantastic rest of the session all around.
Really good job, Rohit hitting his century of the six. That was the most amazing thing to see. When a batsman gets a century of a six, it's something really good. But the way he got out of it was disappointing. A loosener by Ollie Robinson.
No, Baran. This is where you're an Indian. You need to realize something. That is, you can't be disappointed with a man after having scored 127. I'm sorry. Disappointing ending? No, it's not. You need to. I'm going to teach you something. You can't be disappointed about his innings. No way. That was his.
I'm disappointed by the way he got out. See, if you got out on a good ball, a good delivery, beat you, I agree. Like Pujara.
No, you can't be disappointed. No, you don't talk about that. He got a magnificent 127. His first Test century outside of India. Hit a six to get 100. Brilliant batting performance. Virtually flawless, or not flawless, but a brilliant century. There's no way you could say anything other than superlative about his innings. I'm not going to let you say that it was a bad innings or disappointing. The word disappointing you can't be disappointed in 127. I'm sorry, you can't be. Maybe if you get 199.
But the way he got out, I'm disappointed in the way he got out. I'm not disappointed. I'm very happy. I said I was very happy that you hit a six and get your century up.
I was on Twitter.
Amazing.
Wow, I won $28 in Lotto. Look at that. I won $28. Wow.
128 or 28?
Huh?
28 or 128?
Just two. Where was there one? No, it's just 28. It's just 28. Yeah. Don't scare me there. No, it's $28.
So at least
the other video is still showing live. I'm not sure what's going on there. How come he's...
Yeah, that's what even I say. Like when I'm clicking, it goes to that video first, and it runs for like 8 or 10 seconds.
But I've stopped it.
Can you just delete that? I don't know. Oh no, doesn't make sense.
No, on my listing it shows it's been. No, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe there's.
Garib Banker says remembers last oval match between India and England. Pant scores with 100. Pitch was flat. I think Kohli should take an opportunity and score 100 and get back in form. This is the best, and he's looking in good nick also. Especially
Tim Wilton Davis saying Shane Warne said Darren Milan should bowl today. Well, that's not something with the wire about. Put it that way.
Does he even bowl? I've never seen. Why he bowls what?
Can't believe the other video is still getting views. I don't know what's going on there. Sorry, I'm having to sort this out because.
Yeah, take your time.
It's just going to sort this out. Otherwise, we'll have people wondering what's going on. Although, can you see? I don't know whether you can see it from your end what the story is.
Wait, I'll check.
No, it's gone. It's gone from the screens.
Tasmanian with Food Panda.
Hang on, guys. But all these people, okay, I think people will gradually work it out. I'm just saying, check new stream.
Yeah, it's going. It's still showing your old video, Norman.
Yeah, but I don't know why it does that because it's finished.
Yeah, anyway, let's concentrate here now. We can't do much over there then.
Okay, all right.
There are people coming here, so
there's 180 people in the other place. Would you believe? It's crazy. All right. So the reality is, we'll go through the innings today. It was Pujara looked particularly aggressive. I thought at one stage when he rolled over on his ankle that he might be. That I was a bit disappointed when I saw him fall over because I thought that we're going to lose him from his performance. That would have been a horrible time for Kohli to come in, but we didn't have that. So that partnership was 150, wasn't it? 153, yeah. One partnership. Magnificent. And it was actually Rohit Sharma that fell first as well. Caught by best. Well, he was caught by Wokes. He played this horribly short, rubbish ball. He tried to pull it and let it down there. That's okay. It was still 127 was magnificent. Pujara's dismissal was caught in third slip, was it not? I think it was.
Yeah, it was the same over. The same over that Ollie Robinson got 2 wickets.
Yeah, because in fact Kohli got a single and moved across. So the reality is it was quite impressive. It's a pity. It's funny when 1 wicket falls, 2 wickets falls. That's not uncommon. That happens often enough.
I was worried at that point that a collapse, but luckily Jadeja came in and he batted well. So, and I think still it was a better ploy of sending Jadeja ahead of Rahane because I don't know, Jadeja scoring that century and he at least plays. He does not get out. At least what of Jadeja, he does not get out early. So it's not that within the first 5 or 10 balls, he would, let's say, even if he scores less, he would at least play off 40, 50 balls. So at least he would avoid that kind of collapse to be done.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is that they got Rahane up to sleep. But I think, let's put it this way, the first session tomorrow with both Kohli and Jadeja there, and if a wicket falls Rahane, that'll be okay. If they ink away to they ink to a lead of about 250, 260, then the middle session, Punt and Tucker should just be allowed to go crazy. Because if that's the case, those two can quickly get the runs well over 300, and that's going to be enough. I don't think England are going to score over 300, even if it's more of a batting wicket. They're not going to score over 300. I'm pretty sure about, not because of they haven't got the batters, but the pressure, the scoreboard pressure, the last day of the match, they're going to get to a stage where India, are in a great position. They're in a fantastic. They're definitely ahead today, quite significantly. They've turned the match in their favour. It would have been fantastic if Sharma and Pujara were not out, but that's okay. Kohli seems to be he looks pretty good. The position is in their favour. It's a real pity they didn't play an extra. Well, it was only another 40 minutes of play, perhaps. But it was fantastic.
But it was a scoring play. I would say if they would have played, maybe it would have added 40, 50 runs.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was particularly impressive. And I'm just going to make sure. I want to get a hold of, see if what's his name is there with David Graveney, because David Graveney doesn't know how to operate things, and he goes off his He goes off an email rather than anything else, which is a bit annoying.
I'll take some comments over here, though I can put them on the screen. So
you start having a bit of a chat.
Yeah, so Tim Wilton Davis. Yeah, I agree. Kohli is set for his turn, but let's see. Hope he does not get out in his 50s or 60s. That's what the usual pattern is happening over here. So anyway, as I said, it's a very good platform for him to bat on, considering the wicket is flat and even the ball is now 12 overs old. So I hope it won't give that much of an impact tomorrow morning. So that might be something which will play in his favor. And let's see if finally we see a Kohli turn. So Krishna sir, Rahane tries so hard. Yeah, that's the most tough part about being the fans, is that seeing how Rahane every time just gives this wicket. And it's been this whole series, right from especially in the most disappointing was the WTC. Both of his innings in the match against New Zealand, he really threw off his wicket like very easily.
It is funny though. You cannot say, and no one's saying that Rohit Sharma disappointing. No one's saying that.
What do you think? No one's talking about Rohit much.
The reality is, we're not saying this. I had no one in my pre-show, by the way, but I rated very well. Okay, all right. Let's get back to this. So, Rohit Sharma, 14 fours and 1-6. He almost it's virtually a run every second ball. He got 127 off 256. An incredibly good Test match innings. Take your hat off to Rohit Sharma. He is the best Indian batsman this year by far throughout the whole year. He's KL Rahul certainly did well as well. So they got 46. And then, of course, Pujara 61 was invaluable, considering the circumstances. Absolutely invaluable. It was a magnificent situation, and I'm very proud of him. I think that there's no doubt about it. That's the way I'd like to see a performance go. They 153 or whatever it was, partnership magnificent. Kohli and Jadeja now have the opportunity to continue. Their partnership so far is some 33. Which is getting there. Kohli's looking strong. He's at 4 fours. He's driving very well. He's learning to pick the ball up. There's a great deal of improvement. Yes, Virat Kohli's. The only thing which frustrates me about Kohli is he has to start the next day again. Like he did the previous things, he's got to act like he's batting for the first time.
And he's not starting next day again. At least that was. I said Kohli is not good at starting days again. At least in the recent past. I hope he changes that.
In England, conditions with the ball swinging and moving is the issue. And we have to remember, I was on a Twitter broadcast with a lady called Chloe Amanda, who has 100,000 people on her Twitter, by the way. I was invited to be a guest host. The reality is that, and she said it well, and I agree with her, people are going to start to realise that this is a 1-all situation with the potential of India going 2-1. They have done extremely well. And there's calls of getting rid of Pujara, getting rid of Rahane, getting rid of Kohli. Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. They're on the most difficult wickets you could ever have to bat on. And perfect for England bowlers. They're in ascendancy with their bowling. There's no reason why you should be saying anything other than the superlatives about the Indian team. The fact that they haven't got centuries, blah, blah, blah. This century by Rohit Sharma was huge. This is not a flat track. They're still bowling very good outswingers and cutters, the England bowlers. Robinson bowled well, in part. The reality is that this is an extremely good performance by Rohit Sharma and mustn't be underplayed.
Correct. No, here I would say there is one. See, if you see the second innings of England, the Indian bowlers also got the wicket by really a lot of variations and everything. If you see vis-a-vis the England bowlers, they are really play with means their really skill or their class comes out with the condition where they're swinging the ball and doing the wave. If the ball is not swinging, they don't really have much kind of variations to get. This is where actually the Indian bowlers are much better over here in terms of Bumrah, Siraj. They have much more. If the flattest pitch, they really have deliveries which can do something and get people out. And also the way the footholds, like today I saw if you might have seen Root's last over, the one ball. Anyway, for a right arm off spinner, that's wrong. But like again, this is where Kohli said that with the footholds, Jadeja is a guy who spins the ball in. Like if you're talking of left-hand batsman in and batsman, so that also might come really handy.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, look, the reality is that this has been a major turning point for the game into India's favour. Admittedly, they're only 170 in front. And what I'm getting at there is that they have a major collapse. It won't be enough runs. They need to get more runs than that. They need to make sure they get more runs than that. They need to make sure that they go that little bit further. They need to make sure that they get around the 300 mark is what is an amount they need to get to, which still means they've got to get 129 runs. Okay, but they can do that tomorrow. They've only lost 3 wickets, so they can definitely get that 129 runs. But at the same time, they could collapse. I'm not saying they will, but they could. So they've got
to very much.
They've got to. Virat Kohli and Jadeja are in there at the moment. It allows them to, with Rahane going in next, to steady the ship a bit further along tomorrow, ink out another 70 or 80 runs in the first session, getting a 250 plus lead, leading into the middle session where the ground will be a lot more in the favour of the bowlers, batters, I should say. Then let loose punt and Tucker, and they should get 50 to 100 runs again, and that 300 plus lead will be enough. They've got to probably send England in the bat in that last session tomorrow, and then go for it. And there'll be a lot of pressure on the England players for sure. Now, people are writing quite long statements, aren't they? God, Norman, this is a wrong approach. How many chances did the Indian team need to give to Pujara? No, I don't agree, Krishna. I don't agree at all. I think we have to remember this Indian team have held 1-1 and could go 2-1 in the series. Regardless of it, it's been very good bowling conditions. Admittedly, the Indian batters haven't done well, but look at Pujara today. His 61 was invaluable. He injured himself and he still played on. He was involved in a 153-run partnership. How could you drop the guy? Why would you? He's at 91 of 61 in the 2 test matches. Okay, it's not 100, but they're good scores. Kohli's got 250s. He's 20 odd now on his way. Rahul scored 46. Rohit Sharma scored a magnificent 127. India's batters are doing well. What are we talking about?
Maybe Rane is a doubt now. Pujara is like proven, so Rane might be a doubt now. So Rane
No,
needs to.
I don't think anyone's a doubt. Honestly, they're not going to change this team.
No, they won't change. That's for sure, Norman, given the situation, and at least they've done a reasonable kind of. And if India ends up winning this match, then I don't see a change for sure.
No, Aaron Jingle says, remember, Norman, I said wherever his short balls, slower balls. But Aaron Jingle, Rohit Sharma scored 127. Why are we talking about his dismissal? He got 127. I'll make this quadruply clear. Guys, Aaron Jingle, Rohit Sharma has just scored 127. Don't talk about the delivery he got out on. Glorify, he hit a 6 to score his 100. It's a magnificent achievement. Rohit Sharma's been consistent. I posted through
maybe I'll pass Anuj Igle's feeling that as a fan, look, we get disappointed the way he gets out.
Okay.
To get a good ball,
Rohit Sharma's last so many scores. 36-12, 83, magnificent. 21-19, 59, very good. 11, and now 127. He scored several scores, 83, 59, 127 in this series. What's wrong with that? That's magnificent.
Rohit has been superly excellent this season, and you can see it by the rankings also that he has gone over Kohli. And after this innings, I think he might come in the top 4 also, or top 3. Who knows?
That's true, but what I'm saying to you is they have. We had 631 people watch that other video, by the way. 631
views.
So
maybe it's a very small video also. It's just 8 seconds. So
but people should be. In fact, it's 1,453.
Okay.
It's hilarious. It's a ridiculous number of people watch the other video, and the ones that are watching this, that doesn't make any sense.
Anyway, what about the England bowling, Norman? What do you think? Like they could have maybe done differently? Like what?
I thought they could have brought surprisingly the need for bowling spinners. I think Moeen Ali looked pretty good. I thought he bowled pretty well. I think they could have brought him on a bit earlier, perhaps. And it's just making it very clear to me that the importance of Ashwin. The importance of Ashwin now may have been a clincher to this match. Anyway, the reality is,
I also thought about that, but I felt that it was Ashwin again came to, but then I thought it's all afterthought, given that okay, the situation is like this and they came like this. So
James Anderson, Robinson and Wokes have bowled 23, 21 and 19 overs respectively. They've only gone for 2 to 3 runs and over. They bowled well. Craig Overton was disappointing. He was pretty ordinary. But the other 3 bowlers have bowled well. haven't had the luck of some dismissals going their way. I mean, Sharma was dropped a few times, but the reality is they haven't bowled badly. It's been the Indian batting that's batted well in this occasion. They're 3 for 270. It's brilliant. And I don't care about the wicket being flat. They could have easily still fall. Okay. The reality is the opening partnership. The two openers for India, Rohit Sharma has scored 127, Rahul 46. That is commendable. Very, very commendable. And their first dropper scored 61. So between the top three batters, they've scored 230 odd runs, averaging roughly 75 to 80 each. That's pretty damn good. Now with Virat Kohli and Jadeja, it's up to them now to continue this on. And they were looking pretty comfortable. Jadeja was just fairly defensive, but Kohli looked pretty good to me.
No, Jadeja had a job to come in with 2 quick wickets falling down, so there was a little defensive. And again, the light situation, there was also the side screen issue. Overall, the side screen is very weird. Like there are people sitting below, sitting above, and around it. It's a very weird side screen.
Yeah, I agree. It's really quite strange. It's a very unusual sort of very unusual setting indeed. They probably should have actually done better. But that's an old ground. I've been to it. It's a beautiful old ground. With the gas works there in the corner. It is a brilliant ground. It really is. It's a superb ground. And I think it is a bit of a pain though with that board. You're right. I'm just checking it. There's usually I usually get a link to a where is it? I normally get a link to the media conference. Interesting. The Indian cricket media have not released their press conference yet. It'll happen soon.
I think it will happen the time till the match officially gets over, or I don't know, because they really went off early.
That's true. They probably had a bit of sorting out to do, didn't they?
A very pure thing. One thing now, very pure thing to call it a side screen, because it's behind the bowler, behind the batsman. Why don't they call it behind screen? Anytime.
What's that?
I'm saying the side screen actually is behind the bowler, behind the batsman, behind the umpire. Why don't they call it behind screen? Why the name side screen?
That's a great question. Well, it's to the side of the ground. That's true. It is to the side of the ground.
Yeah, but side of the ground, it's a side.
Hang on. The side of the ground is the entire side. The side happens to be oval shaped, so that's why. But behind screen or front? No. Behind screen. It's not really behind. It's actually a front screen. It should be called. It's in front of the vision of the batsman. It's not behind the batsman. It's in front of the. But side screen is probably the easiest way of describing it. It's to the side of the ground.
Maybe right.
Hang on. You talk about sidelines. The sidelines is what you talk about. The line or the fencing is the sidelines, and that wouldn't necessarily. It's a good question.
Team as maybe he's correct. A side screen, not side screen. That could also be. But I really hear people when they say side, they don't say sight.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna. It's a good point. Now I get it, but it's the sidelines of the ground, the sides of the ground. There's sides. There's no one side. There's one continuous side.
No, Tim has commented, Norman, and Anuj also wrote that it's side. It's not side. But it's very like when commenters say they don't say side.
Is it side screen? I think it. But still, they say sidelines. They do say sidelines and sideline, side screen. I think it's right. I think it is actually. It is sight, isn't it? The sight line of sight. Let me have a look. I'll just check on that. Yeah, I think that. But it's also a valid point to say side. They say side SIDE lines. It's not side screen. I think it's side screen. Let's have a look.
Garib Banker is very savage.
Yeah, it is correct. I stand corrected. It is sight screen, as in sight, as in SIGHT, correct. But there are things called side lines, SIDE lines, the sideline of the ground is also related to that too. But no, in this case, it's touchscreen. Good point. Very good point. Moen is gone in a fortnight. He'll go back to white ball, and that's his Test career finished. I don't think so, Tim. I don't think so at all. They made him vice captain.
We have Garib Banker who's savage on Rane, and we have Tim Wilton Davis who's savage on Moeen. They were both reach.
Garib Banker, for God's sake, your team has got 3 for 270. Your opening batsman's got 127 with 46 and 61 at first drop. Get off Rahane's back. Okay, they're not. Okay, I'll make a public announcement. Rahane is not going to be dropped this series at all. Ashwin's not playing this series at all, and ultimately the Test match against New Zealand, Rahane will probably be a starter in that as well.
But let's say, Norman, if India win this match, do you think in the next match, like just as a change, maybe get Surya Kumar Yadav, someone give them a chance? No. Oh, yes.
No, this is not one-day cricket. This is not T20 or ODI cricket where you roll players through the team like there's a sausage machine, right? As they did in Sri Lanka, they gave everybody a go. The only time that's happened with the Indian side was when they had 9 players out due to injury and lack of selection at the Gabba. India realised, even though that was a great thing to be able to do, and they did a great job, that they need to go back to some basics of a Neil Harvey or a Richie Benaud type of selection process where you pick and stick. I actually commend this. I do think you're saying giving people a go. Test cricket is not about giving people a go. You understand? ODI T20, maybe you could argue that. But in Test cricket, it's not about giving people a go. It's a long form of the game, and people saying that they should stay in the team for years. Sky Kumar, okay, he's pushing for selection. He's been acknowledged in the squad. You don't just give him a go. That's not because what? Well, why would you give him a go and not let Vihari and Agarwal play? Those blokes deserve to go first. Or Ishwaran, who's been on the bench the whole series. So no, I don't think you can approach it that way. I think that's not the way you select a Test team. And I'm actually very impressed that India have stuck to their guns with this because it's proven successful. Pujara's come through. He scored 61 today, didn't he?
Yeah, let me check. Oh, yes.
What?
No, I said, let me check. Yeah, I said yes.
How much?
No, Pujara, I'm really happy that Pujara is back because he's a classical test, and like for youngsters he is a kind of batsman like who shows like what Test cricket is like, and he's a good to watch. So I'm really happy that he's back. Considering his age and career, like if let's say it would have been bad and he would have been gone out, I don't think he would have come back again, given the situation. So I'm very happy on that. And he's not just for Indian fans, but I think for cricket connoisseurs all across the world, he's a gem to watch. He really gets people to know what is. I think he's the only batsman who bats like that right now in Test cricket, the whole of Test cricket right now.
Yeah, look. Yeah, I love the comment from Tim. I would never have thought I would have heard this. What is the difference between the two teams? I get that. That's a positive statement. But the next sentence, a reliable opener who sticks around. That sounds like we're talking about Pujara or someone like that type. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, correct.
Rohit Sharma has transformed himself into a player that can be reliable and sticking around. He is magnificent. I'm extremely impressed with Rohit Sharma. I think it was because his natural instincts came out at 127, but up until that point, he did brilliantly. Absolutely magnificent century from Rohit Sharma. He deserves all the accolades. I'm very happy for him. He scored over 3,000 tests. He scored 3,000 test runs now. He should. If there were stages in his career when he didn't play Test cricket, I'm really disappointed now for that because that would have been great to have him playing. Then he would have been 5,000 plus. Okay, so I think that this is a great, magnificent Indian team. They've done really well. And imagine without Ashwin, they've done this. Now the critical part will come now. You're right. We both would have said this. If Ashwin was there on the last day of this match, the pressure of scoreboard with Ashwin bowling would have seen a number of wickets fall. But we have to look at Umesh Yadav, Siraj to an extent, but certainly Bumrah have to step up now and put enormous bowling accuracy and pressure on the England batsmen. And if they get Root early, England are in deep trouble.
Yeah, again, Root will definitely be the key. If Root gets between in his 20s or 30s, then for sure, I don't see the England batting lineup lasting that long. They would definitely. And let me tell you, when they go in defensive mode, they will definitely not last. The English batsmen. Like when they're high and they want to defend and take, I don't think they against the Indian bowlers they would be able to stand up. So for looking at the England's point of view, they really need to make sure that tomorrow they have a collapse of India. They get a target of maybe 240, 250, and then look to chase and win it in across 5 sessions. I think that would be what England. If India bat 2 sessions tomorrow, put it in lead goes to 300, 333, then I think it's definitely India's game. I don't see England lasting 4 sessions.
Can I just quickly tell you, 3,700 people have watched that other video. It's funny. All right, look, I'm most looking forward to Kohli. Kohli, again, has done well. He scored 250s in a row. He's looking good on 22. Pity the day ended because he could have scored a lot more runs. I hope he gets through the first hour or so tomorrow and scores big. He could easily score 100. They may not even need punt and Shardul Thakur. They need to be, once they get through the next hour tomorrow and they get around the 250 mark, then India have to really step up their game and score big. They may be happy, they might be happy to bat as long as they can. They may even be happy to bat England completely out of the match, if you get my point, which is great. But I'm more concerned about time. I want a victory here. I want India to win this match. And if 250 in the last innings, even on this particular pitch, is going to be extremely hard to get. And they're in a great position, superb position. I really am impressed.
They will definitely tire out the English bowlers also. I doubt they will play Anderson again in the next, both of them in the next match. Let's see what happens. Overturn and because considerable, if let's say India has 2 sessions tomorrow, we are looking at another 10-12 overs from each of the 3 bowlers.
So are you suggesting that Anderson's going to be rested next test?
One of the 3 for sure, I believe, between Robinson, Overton and maybe Robinson, Overton might be rested.
I don't think Anderson will be rested. Why? Because he's got so limited number of tests left in his career that this will be effectively his last test in England until about 12 months away. There's no guarantee whether he'll be here next 12 months, honestly, due to injury, due to God knows what. So I don't think Anderson want to move a millimetre, to be honest with you. If it's going to be anyone, I think Overton may be changed. And I think Mark Wood will come in. I think that'll be the logical change because Robinson's not going anywhere. Anderson won't go anywhere. Mark Wood would be the logical replacement, especially based on his speed and on the wickets at Manchester. Overton, albeit was okay in the first innings, he's looking fairly ordinary in this innings and hasn't bowled much either. Moeen Ali's also going to stay. I think the England side won't change that much other than perhaps putting Mark Wood in the side. Even if they lose, I think they won't change. Hamid wasn't great, but yeah, India's not changing a player, especially in their batting. In the bowling department, they will not put Ashwin in now. There's no point.
For England, at least in this series, if you see, whenever they got any new player in, they have performed like David Malan, Chris Wokes, Ollie Pope. So that is also, if you see, a positive for them. like Chris Wokes and Ollie Pope, everybody said that they have not played a game at all, and they really came up. So that really shows that they have talent and they have the skill.
Absolutely.
So that was also something. Oh, I just remembered you, Manchi was discussing and you were discussing about the Chinese cut and French cut. So one thing, like in India, this was very, at least from where we used to play in the western part of India, we had both these terms, but they both meant something different. Both are inside edges, like a Chinese cut is also inside edge and a French cut is also an inside edge. But the difference is that in a Chinese cut, the ball, when it takes the inside of the bat, will go through between the stumps and the legs of the batsman. So between the leg stump and the batsman. So it goes towards the fine leg from there. Whereas a French cut is something, let's say he's driving or poking, a batsman is poking, and it goes from outside of the off stump towards fine leg. So we had very two distinction for the Chinese cut and the French cut.
It's funny in Australia, I think I know my cricket. Okay, in my lifetime, I've on any of the commentary, on any of my schooling, my university days, my grade days, my whatever level of cricket, I never heard the word Chinese cut. So we always call every single one of them French cut. It's intriguing because I never heard the term. When it came up the other day, I'm thinking Chinese cut. I didn't know what they were talking about. It doesn't matter.
In my case, I've heard many times in commentary they're using Chinese cut or French cut, but it was not this distinguished. I don't think whether it was remembered. But when we used to play, we used to remember this distinction very much. That a Chinese cut was inside edge going between leg stump and the batsman, and the French cut was inside edge going away from the off stump. Means not crossing the leg stump, going from outside of the off stump through to fine leg. So there was a very good distinction between the two, and it's maybe good terms to use.
Well, I mean, ultimately, it's an inside edge, which is an inside edge to the bat. Have you played French cricket? Do you know what French cricket is?
I have not played, but I have not played or not seen.
Okay.
But I've heard like it's like batsmen who stand and then if you hit, you have to run, something like that.
No, French cricket is this. You stand up like this, right? With your feet together. And you get the bat, not holding it side on, but holding it front on. And you have to play in front of your legs.
Okay.
It's like, you understand what I mean? So you
like
stand up. Yeah, and you flick, you can play shots like that and that, but you hold it like this and hold it in front of your legs and you play the ball like that. And it's not, you don't need 22 yards or anything. It's whatever distance you wish it to be. And what you do is you hit the ball over there, and there might be other fieldsmen, and then the batsman say I'm facing you front on. You flip it forward. If suddenly I hit it to the left, I've got to change my standing point to be in front of the new bowler. Whoever fields becomes the bowler. Do you understand? So you have the bat in front of your legs, and then they play there. If the ball goes over there, you turn around here, and you stand in front again. So because it's like a game.
It's an individual game, or it's not a team sport.
Oh, there's a batter and fielders.
Okay.
It is individual. Yeah, it is an individual game. That's called French cricket, and you play that when you've got little room. You haven't got a full wicket. You got no pads on. You can bowl with a tennis ball, whatever you like. And the idea is for the person to beat the bat, but hit the legs. The legs are the stumps, effectively. Okay. If you miss the ball and it goes behind you, you have to very quickly turn around and face the person behind you, who will then bowl to your legs. Does that make sense? So you're constantly moving around like that.
It's like cross between dodgeball and cricket, something like that.
We call that French cricket.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting how we got different... And there was another version of the game, and I forgot the name of it. Merv Hughes with his brother, Merv Richards and his brother, Viv Richards, when they were kids, created a game of cricket where you'd have one knee on the ground and one knee up, right? So like you're kneeling with one knee up.
Like a sweep, you're in a sweep shot.
Yeah, there's a certain game they call it, and they used to field really dramatically and be very close to the bat, and amazing diving. And Merv Richards said he swears blind that's where Viv learnt to field so well. And they played that kind of cricket in parks. Most interesting story. I found that a very interesting story.
Amay as a comment, it seems like French cricket is worse than T10. I think French cricket is better than T10.
Who said it?
Amaya More.
Seems like French cricket is worse than T10 cricket. Well, it's played. It's not really something you watch on television, put it that way. Bats will tee tomorrow and hope for pitch to play his role. Yeah, they have to play the next two sessions. And if they do, they're going to have a lead of 350, which is what they want. 300 to 350, and that's great. See, Donald Utawala says French cricket is popular in Mumbai. You do play it. Maybe
in Mumbai, I still remember underarm cricket is very popular, which is played. Don't remember people playing French cricket so much, but underarm cricket is very popular. Like you bowl underarm, and I remember you used to spin like this and like whatnot. It was very popular.
I can't believe it. 5,390 people have watched that.
I think it's only a 8-second video, Norman. So the people are just clicking, and from there maybe coming in.
But it almost is telling me maybe I should do more 2-minute videos. No, I'm joking.
2 minutes, or maybe yeah, like a 15-20 minutes with a proper agenda for the let's say what happened in the day, something like that, and then maybe take questions. So like let's say 20 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that.
Yeah,
I keep it to 15 minutes, not even 20 minutes.
But the beauty of this is I want to also do it the way I'm doing it here. I love doing this.
Yeah.
I find this extremely interesting too, because we get really good chats, especially when we've got guests on, very detailed chats of information that we would never get to hear David Gravely talk about his life experiences. I like that. So you're right. But I can't do both at the same time, can I?
Not the same time. You can see this show you can do now, and then this 15-20 minute you can do it like in the India time morning, let's say around 9-10 a.m. India time.
I would agree with that. Yeah, that's a good point.
So that would be like before your pre-match, 2 hours before your pre-match show starts.
Exactly. It's a very good point. But yeah, look, this has been a dramatically important day for India. We need to rejoice this. We should need to get rid of the discussion about 3-4-5 now, because Kohli's at 250s. Pujara's at 90 to 60. That conversation.
3, 4, 5, 6. 6 has also come in the picture.
Okay. But realistically, Rahani's batting for the North. I actually don't mind Jadeja going in earlier, but he's a bit too defensive at the moment. I think he thinks he has to be ultra defensive. I don't think he needs to do that. But what they're trying to do is break up the right left-hand scenario, and that's a good idea.
That's also, and also given the situation of what I have seen, that if Rane either sometimes even gets out very early, but Jadeja at least, let's say even if he's at 10 or 20 score, he would end up playing at least 40-50 balls. So he's more cautious over there. So I think that might also be a decision, like given that 2 quick wickets fell, that was a good thing to do.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. The reality is, okay, they're 171 in front. Look, I'm by no means saying that's enough, but you know what? England could be all out for a lot less than that, couldn't they? They could. Scoreboard pressure is enormous.
Yeah, as I said, if England goes on a defense, I think they might even get out for 100, 120. Same like the Lord's Test. If they go, let's say India's lead is 350, and it's a question of getting 4.5 runs per over, 4.5 runs per over, and they go into defensive. Once they go into defense, I think best case for England would be that they go for a attack. Even if the lead is 350, they have 4 sessions, they go for a win. That would be a better thing to do than sitting out and playing it that long.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, the reality is that, okay, let's compare this test to the previous test. After 3 days, Pujara was 91 not out and Kohli was 45 not out. Okay. Admittedly, they had scored only 78 in the first innings, right? But we thought after day 3, they were still a lot of runs behind. But we thought they bat into the 4th day, they recover, they give England a total. It's going to be an exciting match. What happened to India? They fell like a pack of cards on a wicket that really was playing well at that stage. It's batting well. My only concern is we're in a situation this time where India are a lot further in front, but if they get all out for 100 runs or 50 runs, they may not have enough. That's my only concern. Again,
there's a slight difference. That day, the ball was a new ball in the morning. On the fourth day morning was a brand new ball. Here it's a 12 over ball. So that's a big difference.
Oh yeah, but I think 12 overs is not old by any means. That's not an old ball. You would say it's not an old ball. It's still a pretty good ball. I mean, but yeah, let's go back to Rohit Sharma. His batting performance, he was beautiful today. Okay, he got dropped a couple of times, but he batted beautifully. He drove well. He played cautiously. Pujara supported him greatly. Pujara played some wonderful cut shots, by the way, didn't he? He played very well. Pujara looked very determined and a lot freer. He seemed, because the fact that India got a good start to the day, he was a lot freer. He wasn't as much pressure on him, and he showed it. Pujara is not going anywhere. He scored yet again another 50. He's really, 153 run partnership. He was involved in a 99 run partnership with the likes of Rahane before. These guys, you need to persist for them. The young guys that you talk about, like Sky and the like, he's not that young. There's no guarantee they would have done the same thing. No guarantee.
Yeah, see, Surya Kumar rather, I would say, would have become like a X factor like Pant. I would say that what we saw in Australia, like Pant being the X factor coming. Surya Kumar Yadav could have been that's my like given the situation, like personally also I felt that maybe Agarwal and Vihari would not have done means we would not have expected that much from them, like them ending up scoring high in the close to the hundreds or something like that. Honestly, given the pitch movement and something, I also felt that. But Surya Kumar rather, given I felt that might be an X factor. Because he is more, compared to Pant, he is more selective on his shots and he does not premeditate with Surya Kumar. Pant is very premeditative and with the ball swinging, he can be easily kept into a trap.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, Paul Collingwood's just come out and done a press conference just now. I'm uploading it as we speak. So we'll continue to talk. Paul Collingwood is a very good, well, certainly a good fielding coach. And he's quite a good batting coach too. And when we talk about coaches, yet again, we come back to Ravi Shastri, and I have to comment again on him. The batting coach. What's his name again? Victor Rathore. He's been touted as next captain.
I think he played 6 or 7 tests for India. He was a Mumbai opening batsman, if I'm not wrong.
He was. So he's the batting coach. But he's saying he's also considered to be the next coach. So what do you think about that? Tell us your thoughts about that.
Yeah, till now, no one else's name has come out, surprisingly. The only other name was Rahul Dravid, but what we see that definitely is not the case. So the only, who might know, Rahul Dravid might spring a surprise. Somebody might talk to him, or other case might happen. They might continue with Ravi Shastri, maybe slightly tweak the rule saying that we got him before the age of 60 and his contract is for 2 years, so that will pass, something like that. Who knows?
Well, to be honest with you, that is the best scenario for me. Forget this rubbish over 60. I think if you start as coach over 60, maybe. But if you've been continuing, you cross over 60 and you're doing well and you leave him there.
Yeah, correct. I would also agree. So maybe that kind of they can, like, okay, we got the coach in when he did not turn 60, and so.
Well, I think that would be a very good decision. And I mean, can you explain to me why they need to do that?
I think there was a lot of corruption and scandal kind of thing happening in or nepotism and thing in the BCICI. So there was this committee and they laid down this rule. So that time maybe they did not think it. If you ask me, I think for a coaching they made a 65. I would be is a more appropriate age to put. 60, I believe, is too little early for this kind of a role. So personally, I feel 65 should be.
Explain it further. Why is
65?
But age is really irrelevant. I don't know what I mean, nepotism, okay, but I don't think that's going to do with this. I think it should be more a matter of who's the best qualified to do the job, shouldn't it?
Well, it's more maybe they're looking at even at a fitness perspective, like how the Indian team right now has that. You need to meet this fitness, even if your your skill is excellent, you don't meet fitness, you're not in. So I think that kind of way, which I would also agree that to put in somewhere you need to draw a line. Like let's say your coach is very good, how long you will continue till he's 75, 80. So for me,
it depends on the sport.
Would have been more appropriate. 65 would have been more appropriate.
But I mean,
coach will also need to be doing some kind of training with it's not that you will be just sometimes you run downs and things like that. So you can't have a too old guy also.
You mean the physical training
yeah,
running around? Okay. In rugby league, in the sport that I love, look great. We've got a coach called Wayne Bennett. He's 71. Still pretty fit for his age, but he's 71 for God's sake. He's hang on, let me get this damn thing. I'm just going here. Hang on, I'm just trying to get this. He's 71. And he's still a great coach. So I haven't got a problem with age. I think 60 is not too. So what?
Yeah, maybe remove the age and put in some kind of a fitness test, like let's say you can do it in some kind of a fitness test for the coach, a minimum, not like the players, definitely maybe half or lower than the players. That would be a good catch.
Darren Lehman smoked about 3,000 cigarettes a day. He couldn't keep up with them, but he was well in the 60s. So, I don't know. You don't have to necessarily run with them. I mean, if you've got good fielding coaches and batting and bowling coaches that do the legwork and you're their decision making, I don't know.
Anyway, I remember reading like there was Australian team also that was flying to England and they bet one, I think it was a wicket keeper or somebody. He drank 57 bottles of beer. I don't know if that's a true story or what.
David Byrne.
57. He drank 57 bottles of beer in the flight, and when they landed, they had to take
David Byrne. That was David Byrne. That was the cricketer. He was playing. He and the likes of Jesus. It was David Byrne actually who did that.
57 bottle of beer is like huge.
Yeah, but he was not. David Byrne drank that many cans of beer on a flight, and also Rod Marston, but they were players. They weren't the coaches.
Yeah, players. I'm talking about players, but still.
Oh yeah.
Talk about smoking and all that. So that's why
I don't think there's any issue there.
Today's match also, surprisingly, there were not many like misses kind of a thing. Also, like like very close wickets or close calls. That also was not there. Surprising compared to if you see yesterday's last, like there were a lot of nicks and edges, and today I did not see that. So either the ball was not doing much and the batsman was also playing on it. So that was something good.
Oh, I think that Root made a mistake in using his how can I put it? Using his choices very badly for his decision making. He made some mistakes, which he later on realized was a mistake. If that makes any sense, like he
you're
actually.
Talking about DRS, or you're talking because he was rotating the bowlers very well. At least he was rotating them. He was not dragging them on.
Yeah, I mean, hang on. So you're not talking about DRS. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about like nicks, edges, close calls for wickets.
Oh, that type of thing. Okay, yeah. It was. Look, there's one thing for sure. The feeling of the difference between the slips of England and of India, there are different. Rory Burns dropped some pretty important catches today. They were hard catches, but they were still catches. So, whereas the previous day, Rowett took very good catches, didn't he? He took some great catches.
You have to also look this way that how many, in case of Indians, they are notorious in, if I'm talking about this, notorious in getting nicks and getting out. Whereas if you see with the English batsmen, it's not that we are seeing many nicks and people getting out.
When they're batting, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
but let's be honest.
So the number of balls going into the slip cordon for India is much, much higher. So obviously you might get some, whereas for England, number of going in the slip cordon while England batting is very less. So the way, like the strategy of England was as if, they're saying ball on the fourth lump line. So the way they want to get the batsman out is through nicks and edges. Whereas with India, it's they're going with a different strategy.
Okay. On the basis of that, the Indian batsmen have learnt how to bat in English conditions the hard way by playing test matches in England, not by playing county. Okay, the Indian batsmen have gotten better. Rohit Sharma now is as if he's played county cricket for years. The way he's playing, KL Rahul's the same. Pujara now is getting better. Kohli's getting better. India, if they're going to play another series against England, would kill them or more. They're getting used to the bowlers. The advantage has always been that England play with the Duke's ball every season. They play every summer, 6+ tests. It's their home ground, the bowlers and the batters. So that's the difference. In Australia, Stark bowls on the Gabba. He knows how to bowl short, get lift out of the wicket and dominate. India, the spinners of Ashwin know their spin conditions. They bowl accordingly and bat accordingly. That's what's happened. And it just goes to show that the Indian team need to play 1 or 2 matches, maybe even 3, in a warm-up phase in England. But they haven't got the time, especially because of COVID and the restrictions are gone. They've had no choice but to do it this way. So that's, in essence, what the difference is, if you ask me.
Amaya More has made a comment on the English umpires. What do you feel, Norman? I also, honestly, my personal opinion, I see they're saying Michael Goff initially, but I'm saying like a lot of decisions were not so good also. So I won't say rate them to be I would say the top league of really good. For me, I think the best umpire is Alimdar. I would rate him as the in the current crop a lot in terms of his decision and accuracy.
Some of the Australian umpires are pretty good too. But don't forget, back in the day, Baran, they didn't have the beauty of reviews. There were a lot of decisions that Steve Bucknell gave out, or David Shepherd gave out, or Dickie Bird gave out, and we just didn't question it. We moved on. We didn't dwell on the wicket. If you would have dissected every dismissal, there would have been howlers everywhere, right? And because of DRS and because of all of the ability to review, we're fine-tooth combing dismissals where an umpire gives a person out, and on review, it misses by half a ball. Honestly, you can't knock an umpire for those decisions. Because that's pretty. If it's that close to the stumps, you have to be a damn. You have to be like a mathematician to know exactly the line of the ball to be that perfect. Honestly, and we're getting to
umpires review thing. I would agree. See, another point, Norman, I'm not comparing with non-DRS time umpires. That is really out of the question. Like I'm not saying compared to Steve Buckner or Dickie Bird or something like that. Those are, but given in the current lot, you actually see like some umpires are really good. Like case of Alimdar, you take let's say if there was stats for umpires, you would really see that in terms of how many decisions in terms of DRS taken, how many, like let's say umpires will also be feeling, like I don't know, one match I saw Alimdar to gave a decision of not out, and the team reviewed against him, and then he even punched in the air when like he was correct. So umpires also definitely would, maybe they don't show it on the camera, but they would also be reviewing their decisions and obviously improving themselves also. So that is, so DRS has in a way helped both. It has helped, and it's helping umpires also to improve. That's also something which to be seen.
But umpires can also make a decision knowing that if it's wrong, they're going to be corrected and they can move on happily. If an umpire makes 10 wrong decisions and they're reviewed and they're in the favour of the right decision, we don't talk about the umpire very much. We
No,
don't
like
say, oh,
like in yesterday, if you have seen the Caribbean Premier League, there was a, I don't know if you saw that, there was a wide ball board. It was so atrocious. It like in how can that not be a wide, and it was not given. And Pollard, I think, as a protest, went and stood right at the end. It was ridiculous. Means this is something where ICC need to see. How was that not a wide ball? Was the umpire blind or something? Was very weird to me.
I get your point, but I still think it's cricket. I actually miss having some controversy in a match that could have went the other way based on a decision, because we have to live and breathe the decisions in normal life. Before all this review situation, we lived and breathed decisions, and it added to the drama and disappointment. I rather like that, Baram. I rather like that. I rather like, a fast flowing match without too many stoppages and what have you. I mean, we saw Pujara today injure himself, and he persisted to play on. Tough guy, isn't he? He's a tough guy.
No, coming back to the umpire, I remember like previously when there were these bad decisions or something, it was a good read in the next day's newspaper. So respective country, if the decision against them, there would definitely be an article on the umpiring or a couple of paragraphs devoted to that, or why the reason was such atrocious umpiring, and it was not good. And it was a good read. So DRS has taken that away also. Something to write about for the reporters.
The one thing I struggle with is not the DRS, but the Duckworth-Lewis system. I know it's fair, it's calculated, it has a purpose, but it actually causes more of a frustration as well, because I don't really know why some scores are increased or decreased. I really don't know. And it puts enormous pressure on that team that has to get the runs in lesser time. Usually it's too much in favour of the team that's just battered, I believe. I know it's not meant to be, but there certainly is.
Let's put it that way, Norman. It's the best system available where you want to have a result in the rain kind of matches. So in ODI, if you're looking for a result, I think that's the best available system right now. You can't, means you have to live with it, something like that.
Oh, I know that. I know that. But you must admit, when you're watching a game and the DL comes up, Duckworth-Lewis figure, do you sometimes scratch your head?
Honestly, no, because I know the calculations are very complicated. I did not go into detail, but I just live with it. Okay, this is it. How did that come? As I don't go too much deep into that.
I love, because I scratched my shoulder. Arne was saying, quit dairy and take home it's easy a part-time job. Milan Vithula, he's actually from Austria, would you believe? He's in Austria. The lead for England might have been less if India had reviewed the decision, but the team came back strongly nevertheless. Hard work pays off, and it has. If India can get a win out of this series,
which Milan referring to? The Moeen Ali?
I think so. Where is Michael Vaughan now? He is saying on commentary that India will collapse today. Well, he was wrong, wasn't he?
Michael Vaughan is a very two-faced character, Norman. I'll be very open here. Like when he's on the Cricketverse commentary with Harsha Bogle, he talks on a very different tone. When he's there on the English commentary, he talks with a very different tone. Why not have the same viewpoint on both the shows? He has a very different viewpoint for the English audience and a very different viewpoint for the Indian audience.
He's gathering audiences.
Yeah, so
he's jumping fences.
That's very evident.
Jumping fences. And he loves a bit of he likes to have a go at India jokingly, because he knows people will watch his show. If I put on a picture of something bad about India, I would get views. I may not be very popular, but I'll get views. And that's what he's after, I'm afraid. Pure and simple. He's after views, and that's it, which is rather annoying, if you ask me. Don't you?
No. Like for this instance, if you talk on the Crickbus show with Harsha Bogle, he was talking about India lasting. If India plays by, if let's say India loses just 1 wicket by lunch, I'll quote his words. He said that if India lose only 1 wicket by lunch, which actually happened, he said India will win. There was not much talk about he feeling that India would collapse, or that is in the during commentary or the English show. He's like saying India will surely collapse, and this is what's happening, and this is what will happen. So it was a very different viewpoint to look, which I also noticed it.
These are great comments. Vaughan uses a tactic: controversy creates cash, controversy sells. Let's be honest, it does. It's English Hermit, Mr. Irani. And no, he's right. Oh, he's calling it Mr. Okay. I like the respect of, especially young Indian people. They do respect people. They call them sir. I'm always humbled by that. I find that very humbling. At what point do you call someone sir is my question.
One is the age gap. If the age gap is big, we use the sir. The other thing is when we see that or we appreciate the other person's accomplishments, or this guy has really done something and he has in his field of work or something, he's an accomplished person. So these two times it's very common we use sir.
So Pawan Kumar, Norman, please call Chloe Amanda Bailey on your show. I listened today to this based on Twitter. Pawan, I'm not bringing her on today, but we are discussing bringing her onto the show, yes. But she's living in Sydney like me. She'll probably be asleep now. But I'm going to bring her onto the show, don't worry. She sounds like a very nice person, so I will bring her on, don't worry. In fact, the broader public loves controversy, drama, and faux pas outrage. Yeah, exactly. Have a gut feeling that either India will win by 10 runs or England will win by 1 wicket. Thriller. Himanshu Chaudhary, you are a drama person. That's wonderful. I do like that. I can't imagine. I really don't think. Okay. England have got Chris Wokes. He's significant. He's got a spark about him, like a Ben Stokes. He could attack at the end of the match. Moeen Ali also bats pretty well under those circumstances. They've got two players, and probably Bairstow, that they can come at the end and score quickly. You're right. But it really comes down to what Root does, in my opinion. He's the key. We get him out cheaply, we've got a great chance.
India should make sure that they don't have like what happened in the first innings when second day, first session, they took 2 wickets, and after the first break, the first 2 overs go for 28 runs. So that's ridiculous. Like, given the situation, you're giving 2 overs that go for 28 runs was really that completely changed the tone of the match. So that is something which India really needs to look out, given any situation. You can't have in a test match, you are giving 28 runs in 2 overs. In consecutive 2 overs are going for 28 runs. So that's something which needs to be, means the bowlers are bowling so loose or being so complacent. That's very evident from that. That's something which should not happen.
I agree. Let's have a look at some of the comments here. 19. Amarish Sings, thank you. I'm going to bring her on, but yeah, she was very pleasant. I'm even thinking about doing something with her live. We'll see. I'll get Chloe in. Is India in the driving seat? What target is safe and which time they will declare? They won't bat longer than the end of the second session tomorrow. But Kohli might be conservative. He may even bat to the end of the day. If he had Ashwin on the side, he could afford to do that on the 5th day. But that's the problem. He hasn't got it. He needs 4 sessions to get India out. And India to get England out. England will need 4 sessions also to bat to get the runs. So in 2 sessions, India should be over 300 in front. And that should be enough.
If Kohli is looking for a win, he will also have to put in the light factor. So you would lose definitely 10 overs each night. Like today, for sure.
India don't have an effective bowler other than Bumrah. That's not true. I mean, Umesh Yadav proved very successful, didn't he? He did very well. He had a delivery that got Kohli, and that's worth his weight in gold.
Siraj also he was off color in the, but I believe he's a bowler who will come back also strongly. So Siraj is also something that who knows might be a weapon.
So Pawan Kum is saying that we'll be rooting for Australia by saying Aussie, 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 oi, 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 and upcoming series. England's not being very well liked at the moment. That's one thing. India, Australia, granted, probably want to beat England more than anything else. I
think the reason you can say that is Michael Vaughan. Normal. The reason is Michael.
That's true.
There is no Michael Vaughan comparison in Australia. So, like what Michael Vaughan is doing, there's no similar guy in Australia. So that's the reason is Michael Vaughan. You have the Indians are supporting Australia.
You got to also be a bit. How can I put this? There are Australian people who probably would be like that, but do appreciate their involvement in the IPL. I would say Dave Warner is a little bit hypocritical. He does a lot of Bollywood songs. He's teaching his kids Bollywood songs. That's very sweet. But are we seeing a real character, or is he doing it for likes, if you get my point? What would you prefer, Michael Vaughan to be the real person and mucking around, or would you like him to act like Dave Warner does and placating an Indian audience? I don't know.
In case of Michael Vaughan also, I feel he's purposely doing it. It's not something natural. Like this is he is purposely doing it to again get views. He is purposely doing it. This is not which is evident by the fact he is putting up a two-faced kind of a thing. He says in a different mindset in one show and a different mindset in another show. So that is very evident from that. So it's not that, like, let's say if David Warner also, we are saying that he's doing it to gather more fans. Same with Michael Vaughan.
Yeah, in a different way, but you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The highest, there's a highest chase at the Oval since 1960 is 240. That's pretty significant. If that's the case, then the more that India get above 240, and with it, don't forget, India are only three down at the moment for 270. They've only lost 3 wickets in the whole day's play in 3 sessions. That's pretty magnificent, isn't it, really? Having lost the first wicket somewhat early, they've only lost 2 wickets in the rest of the day's play, and they lost it in 1 over, as I think you said. The reality is that India are in a damn good position. They've still got 7 wickets in hand. They've still got Kohli there with the likes of Jadeja, obviously Rahane, Punt and Shardul, all capable of batting. I think we'll see some great results tomorrow. I think we'll see at least that they're going to be around anything above 300. They're in the position of winning this match. And even the stats already went from being 55 England, 45 India. It's turned around now. It's something like over 50% India.
Yeah, 61% India. During T, I think it was 61% India, 16% England, and the remaining was draw.
That's pretty significant, isn't it?
So I think they are also looking like what the stats, highest chase being 240. I think this is what is coming into saying that India has a very high chance of winning.
And if India had Ashwin, it would probably put it beyond belief. Honestly.
Who knows? The footballs are actually preferring Jadeja's for a left arm. The footballs, the position of the footballs are such that, let's say if Ashwin was there, I wouldn't say they would be preferring or they would be giving advantage to Ashwin. But for Jadeja, it would definitely be. Little more the footballs come towards the stump, Jadeja will be very lethal.
Exactly. So what does Sony TV 38 ask? Did he was on before?
I also agree with this comment, Norman. Like your dedication is really noteworthy.
So, okay. So will spin play a role on the fifth day? It will. And Moeen Ali won't be there. In terms of India, they've got Jadeja there. Jadeja may not be as good a spinner as Ashwin, but he could still make a difference. Absolutely.
If he gets help from the track, Jadeja is also very lethal. It's
Exactly.
if he just needs one ball to hit the footholds and come towards the stump, that's enough to really fully create doubt on the batsman. Just one ball is enough.
Absolutely. It's a great position to be in. It's I'm very impressed with India's performance today. Rohit Sharma, magnificent. I would like to see Rohit Sharma bat in Australia this well. He's done okay in Australia.
First international century, if I heard it correct. This is first international century.
Yeah. But having said that, though, his scores all season have been fantastic. 80s and 50s. He's done very well. He hasn't done badly this season. He's the second highest run scorer in Test cricket this year behind Root, which is, I'm comparing to all nations now. That's pretty good.
And even in India, it was his 160 which actually changed the whole momentum. If you're using the word momentum towards India, that was something very impressive.
Okay, let's look at the whole series. Indian opening batsmen Rahul and Sharma have both scored centuries this series, correct? How many England opening batsmen have scored centuries this series? None.
The only person who scored centuries was Root, right? No one else scored a century.
No, but I'm just talking about the opening position, which I believe is still the most. In my opinion, they're the most important batters in the team, because if you can go none for 100, your team's in a great position immediately. Rarely does a team do badly if you get a very good opening partnership, because the other batters, the bowler's worn down, the batting side have more time to bat. I think that's what I'm getting at. That tells you that almost explains the series somewhat. Forgetting Root for a moment, okay, because Root, he's been a saviour for England in at least one match. The reality is, Indian openers have scored centuries. Their first drop has scored 90 odd. Their second drop has scored 250s. They're not bad stats, are they?
No, and I would say there Pujara should also thank them, because that really put, when Pujara came in certain instances, that really put pressure off him and maybe helped to get him. If we call Pujara being back, I would say he's back in form. Do you say Pujara back in form?
Absolutely. I mean,
having 350. One was okay. 45 in the last. I would say 6 innings. If you're scoring 350 plus, I think you're back in form.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, it's been a great. Indian batsmen have to be applauded. And this 3, 4, 5, 6 business. Only Rishabh Pant's been a bit disappointing, but let's be honest. He could come out tomorrow and score an amazing 50 to 80 runs, or maybe more in a session, and absolutely clobber England out of the game. Because if there's anything more than 300, England will not get in the last day. I'm sure of it. Indian bowls.
I think it's definitely an India win.
Well, as long as they score another 120 runs and they don't collapse tomorrow, yes. In fact, they need to bat out a bit of time. They need to get through the first 2 sessions, and that'll then put the pressure enormously on England. Now, weather-wise, it's been overcast, but no rain. So that's pretty useful. The track's not... I don't think the track's necessarily that flat. I think India played well today. I honestly think that.
Yeah, I would put it in this way, that the England's main strike power of getting the ball to swing, and that was lost today. So that's where the Indian batsmen really came in, and the English bowlers did not have any other arsenal or any other kind of thing to go to. So that's where I'm again saying that what I find that the Indian bowlers are much better. I would say the Indian bowlers are much better looking at a overall condition compared to England. That even they are able to get them out in complete five. You see all the innings where England played it till now. The conditions were very good. Ball was not swinging. So the Indian bowlers really got them out with on their merit, boring really chaffer off deliveries or really strategizing and getting them out. That was in the first innings of England. I will blame them, like wickets like Moeen Ali, Ollie Pope. They were I won't say really good balls, but they were like wickets thrown away.
That's good points. It's an interesting scenario. I mean, the finds of the series again. Umesh Yadav, I think he's really done well. He's taken his opportunity. I think he bowled really well. And really, if you compare Ishant Sharma and Umesh Yadav, you have to go for Umesh Yadav now, for sure. Siraj has 8 wickets in the second test match. They won that match. He's significant as well. And Shardul Thakur, he has to be considered a regular of this team as an all-rounder. He's starting to really show signs of being worthwhile having. His bowling hasn't been great, but it hasn't been bad either. He's served a purpose. His batting performance, that 57 now is becoming extremely important, isn't it?
Yeah, extremely important. Another thing on the bowlers, I would say number one, I would say Ishant has to be. I would say he has to be kept in the back burner now, given likes of Umesh Yadav, given likes of Mohammad Siraj, and you have couple of you have others also like Natarajan down. They really like surprisingly he also bowled well. What I would say
is Natarajan, is he actually on the tour? He is, isn't he?
I think so.
No?
No, I don't know.
I don't think so. No.
Anyway, the point I was coming to, that what one thing the Indian bowlers need to learn, especially I would say even Shami, adding Shami in the likes of Siraj and Shardul, is that in case they are not able to take wickets, like they can take this from Bumrah. In case of Bumrah, even if he's out of form, not able to make wickets, he at least does not leak runs. Whereas these guys have seen they leak runs very badly. And Ishant is worst of the lot. If he's not bowling well, he leaks very badly. So they need
but he's had a great career at the same time. He's bowled very well. He's played over 100 Test matches. So this is, again, I keep saying it, even about Anderson. Ishant Sharma probably should have made the World Test Championship his swan song and gone out on a high. Even though they lost the match, he should have chosen the match to celebrate. Maybe he was hoping, maybe the BCCI will let Ishant Sharma play one Test in India.
Age-wise, don't you think it's too early to call a retirement for a fast 33? Right, he's 33 right now. 35, 36. I would agree if some fast bowler says.
Is he 33?
I
thought he was older than that. I thought he was older than that.
I also thought, but I think I saw his age is 33.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
So age-wise, I would say he's till 3-4 years there, at least age-wise. Minimum, if he keeps his fit, but his bowling is not turning out to be lethal.
I've noticed that David Gravely, the Vernons, the Munchies are all missing. Is that because they're not winning?
No idea.
Okay, 1988. So he is 33. You're right. Yeah, I mean, in the old days, 33, you didn't play much Test cricket after 33 if you're a bowler. They were looking at the barrel of, that's their last performances. So he's played 14 years of Test cricket, though.
I remember Ishan, when he initially started his Test, he was really not good. But then I would say mid or early mid of his career, he started becoming in patches his bowling has been very good. Like certain patches, his bowling has been very good. That's why he stayed and ended up playing 100+ Test matches.
Well, he turned 33 3 days ago, actually. Yeah, so he's just turned 33. You're right. He's maybe a touch young, but he's played 104 Test matches. He's played very few ODIs and T20s, only 80 ODIs and 14 T20s. So he has been kept as a test bowler, let's put it that way. But 311 wickets, you can't knock that, can you? That's a pretty damn good, it's a pretty good effort, let's be honest. 311 test wickets is, right up there with some of the best in the world.
Correct.
So,
I think does not portray the image of being a strike bowler or a bowler who will threaten the batsman, right? That you get my point. What I'm trying to say. It's not like the Anderson or Bumrah or Pat Cummins. You don't take Ishant Sharma name at that same level.
Let's just put this message up on the screen. I think I'm gonna photograph this and I'm gonna send this around to our blurted English friends.
I don't know. They have their own caves. Maybe the man cave. They're just still on a holiday, right?
Well, probably the reality is Chris's dad's in Lanzarote, that's for sure. So they're obviously, I'm going to just post this to them and just let them see this. So we'll have some fun. Although it was funny how I said this. I said to Jim Maxwell, I said that it's funny how, what did I say? I said that I described Munchie as a tiny fast bowler. That was funny.
Maybe Munchie, I don't know. Munchie was not online also. So.
Oh, he's normally always there. So I'm just giving him
I hope
heaps.
he sees the show and sees my explanation on the Chinese cut and French cut. And that gets famous in England, and who knows, the commentators might start using it also.
So I'm going to have to send it to David Graveney as well. It's just a bit of fun. But look, these guys have been very busy with their this is like their coaching and like even Simon Willis, who was a regular, was the high performance coach for Sri Lanka and England. Those guys will be back during my summer because they won't have cricket in their country. They're going to be very keen to get involved, especially the Ashes series between Australia and England, for sure. Ishant and Shami will both be back. So, okay, Amresh Singh reckons that Ishant and Shami will be both back to the game. I'm sure that he's averaging 90 in the last 3 years. Okay, Shami will come back in. But do you drop Umesh Yadav? That's the question. It's going to be intriguing. What are they going to do?
Do you drop Shardul? I don't think they'll drop Shardul now.
No, either, especially if they win. India got an extravagant number of players now. Obviously, Ishant Sharma won't come in. They might rest, if they win this test match, they might rest Bumrah. If they win the test match, they might rest Bumrah because of the fact there's an IPL and World Cup coming up, and more so the World Cup. But they may not want that their strike bowler to not be fit for the World Cup. They may let him go earlier to UAE, mightn't they? What do you think?
Correct. Well, one thing what I don't like, Norman, is like right now what I've seen, whatever changes happen in that is all happening in the bowling department. There's no change happening in the batting department.
But you don't rest batsmen. Batsmen don't have to be rested. Pujara's just scored 61 and 153 run stand. He's done a great job. Why would you drop him? Kohli's the captain. He's staying there. Rahane, well, he's the only one that's really under question, but he's the vice captain. There's a lot.
Pant won't make no sense because if India is looking as a long-term keeper, it doesn't make sense to drop Pant. Even let's say if he does not score this match or even the next match, I would maybe it has to be 3 or 4 series more that you see no performance on Pant that he might be dropped. But looking at long-term game, like because the next option is Vridhiman Saha, who's at 35.
Vridhiman Saha, he's a steady. He's a very, very. He's an excellent keeper. Okay, that's one thing for sure. No doubt, he's a good keeper. He's batting. He sometimes bats high in the order. He's had a reasonable batting career as well, but Punt's got more ability in the long term, and they'll keep him. They have some fitness issues. Okay, Harsh Gupta saying don't talk Ishant Sharma retirement. Okay, I'll grant that he's 33. Maybe I'm a bit hard on that. Maybe some grounds he'll be used. But geez, he's going to find it harder and harder with Siraj coming through. You know, there's a lot of players around there that are doing very well, and Bhuvi Kumar as well.
Yeah, but that, even I was surprised, like you, Norman. Like Ishant has been so long, and I got surprised when to see his age. Like he's been so long, and he's only 33. Like I really thought he would be 36, 37, and he looks also that way. No things on that.
I mean, if he talks too much to James Anderson, he'll keep playing till he's 39, won't he? But I mean, James Anderson. Go back to him for a minute. Now, James Anderson bowled well again, but they brought up that stat. I think you may have talked about that stat as well. The stat that his first innings he has an average of 19 intakes, hundreds of wickets, and then in the second innings he bowls out of averages 50 or 60 and gets a tenth of those wickets. It is interesting how that happens because there is less movement perhaps at the second innings of a match, yes. But it is an interesting stat. Very interesting stat.
Movement, or can you also say that he means over a course of days he also gets tired? Like he's a 10-15 over spell in a 3-4 day bowler. That can also be a possibility.
Oh, for sure. You'd have to think that would be a major thing. But I mean, he knows his own body. He knows how to be conservative in what he does, and he tends to, he knows his limits really well, doesn't he? Hence why he's still playing at the age of 39. But he won't be passing Shane Warne's 700 wickets. I'll tell you that now.
Amresh has another comment in support of Ishant.
Which one?
Amresh Sirse.
Ishant is the only one who can reverse the SG ball other than Bhuvi. He will be recently in test. That's a fair point. He's pretty good at home conditions. That's a good point. Ridhwan Saha is probably the best keeper in the... Well, technically he is. He's right up there. Although, wait until you see Josh Ellis, I think the name is, the Australian guy. He looks pretty good too.
Even the New Zealand keeper is good.
Devon Conway.
He's the new one.
He bats really well.
Okay. There was one who recently retired, like Watling, right? He retired.
Yeah, he was excellent. He was amazing.
He retired, right? He's like...
Yeah, he had the World Test Championship with his last match, actually.
Yeah.
Which was a great way. What a great way for him to finish. Winning the World Test Championship, that was a great finish for him.
Even Ross Taylor has not retired, or even he has announced.
No, he hasn't retired, but they suggested that he would have, but he hasn't.
Okay.
Well, not officially anyway. So that's interesting. I wonder what he will do. It's a good point. I wonder whether he will actually do that or not. It's a very interesting point.
Ruben has a very good comment on Kohli captaincy.
Which one? Ruben here. This one. If Ash, this one.
Yeah.
If Ash is not selected for the next one.
Not this one.
We'll read it now. Better
okay.
He packs these bags and goes to A and prepare for RBL. Bowl out Collingwood and their teammates. That's cheeky. Rob Karma, king of cricket. God, he is a great player. But this pitch is better. Best for punt, best for the short yet. After seeing your dedication to cricket, you're doing shows that threw down. Hats off to you. Thank you very much, pal. Uncle Nate, Suraj's intensity has also dropped. And this says, well, he can't do well every match. This one here. One question no one can answer is, how long should Kohli be the captain for all formats as he is already 33 years of age? He has to make a decision whether his ODI and T20 career will be stopped. And if that is the case, he will let those two go and he'll play Test cricket. That's what I predict him to do. I think he's achieved everything he needs to achieve in the ODI and T20 formats. And his longevity, he has to get rid of those two, at least as captain and maybe as a player in a couple of years' time. The next couple of years, he'll have to get rid of the captaincy and the playing of those formats.
I also think as a captain, he should maybe another one or 2 years and maybe start relinquishing, so he can train the next one in, like T20 or one day he gives it over to the next, so that the next one in gets trained also under him.
It's an interesting point.
While he's still playing as a player, so the new captain is under the new captain.
That's interesting you say that, because when Ricky Ponting left, he let Clark be captain while Ponting was on the side. That works. But most Test captains usually end up leaving the captaincy when they leave the side.
Not Test. I'm not talking about Test. I'm talking about T20 and one day.
Okay. That's a good point. Yep, I agree with that. Kylie had spoken of transition many times. My guess is 2023 ODI World Cup. I think that could be a point. The 2023 ODI World Cup may be the last time that he'll have the captaincy. Okay, because he'll be 35 then, at a height after T20 and ODI World Cups. That would mean the next World Cup he would probably relinquish his captaincy. I would think that's a fair point. That's a fair stage for him to actually relinquish his captaincy. 2 years' time. That's what I think. It'd be 35 plus. I think that'll be a good time for him to consider that, because then he can concentrate on just playing, can't he?
At least not continue to be a captain. No, what I was asking, what are the other Indians? Gurkirat, Naresh, nobody online. Surprisingly, nobody else is also.
What do you mean? Who else should captain?
No, I'm talking about Naresh, Gurkirat. Anybody coming online?
Well, I did give them the links. Maybe they took the first link. I don't know. I'll just have a look.
Yeah, that could also be possible.
I'll try and give them the new link. Hang on. Because, they weren't available for both sessions, were they?
Anil Prashant as
he's got the link. They got the right link. I've just told Siddharth to join. Actually, Gurkharat said he would join. He said that early he would join.
But Anil Prashant's comment, do you also agree that whoever is winning the toss is losing the game?
I'm afraid there's too much evidence to say that certainly is right, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe if you win the toss, you do opposite what you decided to do. That in case you won the toss, that would be a good strategy to employ.
So you're saying when you win, okay, you're going to call, if you win the toss, you mean do the opposite batting or bowling wise?
Yeah. So if you decided that if you win the toss and you will bat, when you actually win the toss, you bowl.
Oh my God, it's confusing, isn't it? It's only a two-sided coin. It's either heads or tails. I would always, when I captain in cricket, I would always call heads, and that's it. That's all I would do. I would just call heads. Would never change. Nilakshi's saying it's 12:11 now. She can't join. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's listen. What questions? Can you play better drives? I can certainly. I'm an amazing driver. Beautiful flow. I used to flow through, and the bat used to come right over my head. It's been full through it flow. And when I used to cut, it used to be warmth. There's a video of me playing against Chapali, street cricket, mind you. Okay. There's a good shot of me on the SCG getting hit in the balls by a ball, and me going, ow! And there was no crowd, and the ow went around the whole stadium. It was really funny. How many runs tomorrow for India? They're going to go 300 plus in front. So they're going to get close to 400. Virat Kohli, how many runs tomorrow? Hopefully he gets a century. How many matches I played? I played lots. I'm the most capped SCG 11 player. And we've had Stuart McGill and Brett Lee and all these people play. I wouldn't want Rahane in the Indian dressing room tonight. That's for sure. Why not?
Weird comment.
Ryan K, explain that one. What's wrong with Rahane?
He said he wouldn't want to be Rane.
I want to be Rahane. I wouldn't want to, he said. Why? Rahane's not out of the team. He's very happy. He's a great vice captain. All the players look up to him. Even I saw Rahane sitting next to Kohli, and Kohli was listening to what Rahane had to say. So yeah, he's very well respected. There's no fear about that. No fear at all. He's got a great reputation. Why is Ashwin playing? Paul Davis, it's a great question. We all want to know that.
He was bought only for the WTC, so he just remained back. That's the reason.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be Rahane. Pawan Kumar, at the time when Kohli leaves captaincy or retires, he's going to be the most successful Test captain in the world. He'll break captaincy records. He certainly is already close to that. Good point. What is the reason behind India not scoring big overseas as we used to do? What do you mean? I'm meant to be 209. They just scored. They're going to score. They're 3 for 270. That's magnificent. Jahin, because that's a celebration.
Yeah, we are not seeing the big 400s. Like, it's been a long time I've seen a 400 plus score from India. I think that's what the.
But in England, not one innings from England has been. The highest was 390, wasn't it?
No, 390 was India. I think England made one 400.
No, they didn't.
I think the one in Headingley, the first innings in Headingley.
No, they were 350 in front. They must have got 420. They must 434 or something. Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I last don't remember where an Indian single inning score was more than 400.
Yeah, Sharda won't be put in too early. No, why isn't Ashwin on their team? That's a great question. It's very often up. Sport is a very fickle industry. As after a Australian series, people were wanting him to be captain, but now they want him out of the team, all just in 9 months. It is a true point. Rahane captain that team.
After Australia series, everybody was saying that the Test captaincy should be given to him.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. There is a significant probability of India completely collapsing within 50 runs tomorrow. But if they set England a target of 350, there are 0% chance of leading. Well, Brian K, I think if India get the 300 lead, they've got no chance of winning England. So that it is true. We've got to be a little bit careful because India have had some collapses on occasions. They're 170 in front. They were 270 in front. I'd be ecstatic. But they're 170 in front. They've still got a bit of work to do tomorrow. But they've got 7 wickets in hand. So they should be able to get 100-odd runs, you would think, and be at least 300.
Conditions also are favouring. But yeah, conditions were also favouring on the last Test match on the 4th day. And it was very bad at the last, the early morning play on 4th day. It was very bad to see that losing 8 wickets and very fast also, and barely, and just 60 runs for 8 wickets was very bad.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate, wasn't it? It was a very disappointing situation, actually. I had high hopes for them, actually, but they had a big day the day before. They put a lot of effort in the big day before. Pretty hard to back it up with another big day. And that goes even for tomorrow. They're going to find it hard. Yeah, look, Kohli could get out cheaply. He could. I hope he doesn't.
I honestly want Kohli to score a century so that this rut is over. Enough of we are tired of also not seeing a century and seeing the same stat. It's been so many innings without a century. It's like I would say, Kohli, please score that. We have stopped talking about it. We are tired about talking about it. So that's also a reason I really want him to score a century.
That's a fair point. I mean, look, the reality is that, yeah, if Kohli gets 100 tomorrow and Rahane gets a 50, then all the talk about the batsmen should go. Or Punt does well. We need to not talk about these players, and we'll give them a break. That they were going to win a series against England at home. They made the World Test Championship. They didn't win it, but they made it. that means they're in the top 2 countries in the world, really. That's a magnificent result. And if they beat New Zealand at home, you could argue that they're the best, that they're number 1. You'd have to
maybe call the New Zealand team, have another round of WTC, and let's see. But then the New Zealand will say, "Oh, we are not acclimatized, or we are not."
India will kill New Zealand at home. I'll tell you now.
Except for sure. And they'll make sure the pitches are also like that. Because you see New Zealand struggle against Bangladesh itself in the T20. Like they're completely lost against Spain.
Yeah, well, that's what New Zealand have lost the first 2 matches. And these are not T20s; these are ODIs, aren't they?
Or no, T20s.
Okay, all right. So the reality is that there's a Zimbabwe beat Ireland in the T20. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. I was not aware. I was aware of the first T20. I think Zimbabwe beat Ireland. The next 2 Ireland won. So you're talking about the 4th one, or you're talking about the first one?
This is the 5th T20 international between Zimbabwe and Ireland. Zimbabwe have won. South Africa have beaten Sri Lanka in the 2nd ODI. They scored. Why? Explain to me why, Baram. Why are South Africa playing Sri Lanka in ODI matches this close to a T20 World Cup?
No, I don't know. There are even ODI matches of, I think, New Zealand with Pakistan and Pakistan with England, if I'm not wrong, coming up before which is very weird. Another thing is I find it very odd that given the situation in Sri Lanka right now, even these matches are happening. You are aware, right? That Sri Lanka, there's a lot of crisis in terms of food crisis and their currency crisis. Even that has come up.
Sri Lanka's in permanent crisis. What do you mean? The country is a great country, has all the potential in the world, but it has its problems, I tell you. I'm not just because Ashwin has workload of his YouTube channel. He's not available. That's funny. So that's the real reason why Ashwin didn't play Test cricket, because he had too many commitments on his YouTube channel. That's funny.
Maybe he told them that I have to run my YouTube channel, so I cannot work.
I think he said that he was planning on having on with Norman, and because Norman's on for 4 hours and 3 hours every night, there's no time to play. No. Yeah. That's fine.
Right. He needs to watch a show.
Pawan Kumar saying 432 is what India will get. Well, they've got another.
I think it's referring to the England score. We were talking about Headingley, right?
Oh, okay. All right. What change will you make for the next test? Two or 3? What change for the Indian side? Gee, I think maybe Bumrah will be rested and Shami will come in his place, and they'll leave Umesh Yadav there. That could happen.
Even I would say, like, if we need to rest Bumrah, then get Shami in, and that's the only change. No other change. Yeah. What about England? Do you think they will change?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're still a good. I mean, Bumrah, how many weeks? Umesh Yadav took the most this match so far. We'll see how he goes in the second innings. But yeah, that Bumrah, he had a calf cramp injury. He may be in a situation where he needs to have a break for sure. Baram, if you want to go, you've been on for quite a while.
So thanks a lot, Norman. I'll actually take a leave.
All right, Baram. Say goodbye to the viewers.
Pardon?
Say goodbye to the viewers.
Oh yeah, thanks everyone, and please do subscribe and also like and click the bell button. Bye, Norman. Bye, everyone.
Okay, make some comments. Great. All right, Baram Irani was on for 2 hours. It's funny how I'm going to post about the fact that the Vernons and all those guys have not been here. It's a bit disappointing. I'm really disappointed, actually. Not really. It's fine. We can't expect them to be on all the time. Absence of Marcus Vern, Lawrence, and Reg. All right, guys. Let's go through some of these questions, shall we? Satvik Bulgaria. India should add 150 runs tomorrow because of what he did last year against Pakistan. What do you say, Norman? Or Brahm's not here at the moment. Yeah, 150 runs would be fantastic. It's a lot of runs, though. A lot of runs. That means they'll be, well, they're going to need at least 130. So, yeah, that's probably about right. So I would agree. Indian fans, judge you by today's performance. Tomorrow or yesterday doesn't matter. Imagine Kohli with 23,000. Yeah, with that, that's true. It's very true. That's true. New Zealand's are turning tracks. They prepare nothing less than the green time when we go there. Test matches, which, yes, no cricket team can beat India in India. It's very true. Should coach the Afghanistan team. Thank you, Amity. Harsh Gupta, England won the first test in Chennai. Root, Milan, Pope, Wokes, too many. Torment? Is that what? And Manchester weather. Well, it's not looking good. There's a storm heading New York, America, like a cyclone, and they're expecting it to hit to England shores at some stage. So Manchester is under a bit of threat with the weather. It's not looking good. I wish I will be most elite, but I think you will be. Your podcast is one of all my faves, along with the great. Thank you very much, guys. Has been sent to Andaman and Nicobar. That's funny. I like that. Poor Jarvo, eh? He doesn't deserve that. Oh, he does after but bumping into Bess, that was a rather poor effort, I must say. A very poor effort indeed. Very, very poor effort. Still pretty early. I'm happy to go a bit longer, guys. Keep asking questions. TCG. Love your show, the way you tackle two Englishmen. Thank you, Pawan. I appreciate that. I would be interested in watching Gurkharet asking questions. Monty on the show. He will, Buckle. Oh, we're actually planning on that, Buckle. We're actually planning something like that. Norman, are you alcoholic? No. Where do you get that from? New Zealand plays better than Australian second T20. Oh, look, both New Zealand and Australia have been touched up by Bangladesh big time. Paul Davis. Pujara has been criticised, but I think his approach is great. When in survival mode, he does occupy the crease. He had a bad ankle today. Having deficit and occupying the crease was not enough. Hence, he is playing shots now. I think he's a great player. Great player. Is Australia in a lockdown now? It is Pawan Kumar. Absolutely. It's one of its worst situations. I'm waiting on some information about me as well. Apparently, there was somebody who came in contact with me or something. I'm going to find out what that's all about. I'll find out some information. But that's his family profession. And poor Joe, his living depends on such stunts. Well, it shouldn't. Yes, Pujara has responded to critics wonderfully. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I'm getting no reply there. Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I wish Australia and India in the T20 World Cup final. Uncle Nag, I don't think Australia will be there. It'll be England versus India or perhaps the West Indies. I think India is depending and expecting too much from punt. A little bit. 350 lead is enough. What are your thoughts? 350 is still 180 runs away, isn't it? So 300, I think 300 will be enough. If they occupy the first two sessions tomorrow, they'll have a 300 plus lead and they'll declare someone towards the end of the day. What will be the ideal target for England tomorrow? I think over 300, 320. Which number should Charles come to bat tomorrow? No rush. First session, let the Rahanes, the Jadesias and the Kohlis take that on into the middle session. Yeah, 320 is enough. I agree. Fire it, exactly. Absolutely. If Coley also finds form, it'll be easy to carry Rahane for a while more. 4-top order in form, that's true. Have you done commentary in the IPL? I've done that for the Extra Time channel. Yes, I have, for 29 matches early this year. And I'm hoping to join in the last 31 as well. Absolutely. How many sessions will you give England? 4 sessions. They won't get the runs in 4 sessions. 80 a session. It's very hard to do. What should be running his approaches? Bat normally. Just take his time. India will slog once they reach 300. I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree. Very much so. What's your favourite cities in India? Favourite cities in India? Okay. Kolkata, Mumbai, Jaipur. I also like Agra because of the Taj Mahal was great. Amritsar I really like too. Amritsar I think is a lot of fun. Bangalore, Chennai, on them all. Any lower middle order should contribute at least 60 in the total. That would give them a substantial lead over. Well, yeah, they need probably another 120. They're going to be in the top 4, I reckon, for sure. Norman pre-showed predicted Rowan Daddy 100 is coming, but they play. And exactly what it's still a Daddy 127 in the context of the game is like a Daddy 100. Well, listen to you and Chloe, madam. I thought Australian are as rude as Englishmen, but you have both changed my views. Thank you. Have you visited Jharkhand Bahar? No, I haven't. Watching count today has been great. Congrats. Dharmashala. I haven't been to Dharmashala. I want to go back on that. That's one of my favourite places to go. No doubt about that. I really want to go there. Big time. Big time. Oh, reading book behind me there. 11 gods and a billion Indians, and also the way that I haven't been giving enough attention to the Paralympics. India's done very well in that, I must say. Good on them. Kashmir. I haven't been to Kashmir yet. Is the pitch flattened out, or is there something the ball becoming old? I think India is just batting well. Shame day. I think that's what's happening. You should visit Dharmashala. Pawan Kumar, I will. I'm going to definitely do that. If the COVID conditions weren't so difficult to leave Australia, I would be doing it now. Thank you very much, Shashank Kumar. I like that. Dharmashala Test match. I would love to have gone, and I really am frustrated I didn't go to that, to be honest. I think Lord's on the cards if India bowls well in England's second innings. Yep. Dharmashala is home to Dalai Lama. I should visit. Correct. Who do you think will be India's next coach after Sharjah? It looks like Vikram Rathore will be. Do you see Ashwin being selected for last test? No. Not because he's not good enough, they won't need him. Oh, sorry. I'll take that. They do need him. They need him now, but they won't select him. I was waiting for some Pommy to join, or Jim. I should see what Jim's there. Jim would be good, but he'll come on. Don't worry. He'll come on again. Not a problem. We've had a good day without them, so. Quite a miraculous situation, really, isn't it? Great recovery from India today. Let's look through that again, shall we? Let's look at the situation with the total. Let's go. If you're online now, please make sure that you hit my at Norm Koch. That's my Instagram and my Twitter handle. I've gone a bit more on Twitter today. I was with Chloe Amanda there today, and then we can go from there. My YouTube channel, Eyes on Cricket with Norman Koch. Please subscribe to that, as well as hit the notification button. Norman, look at Coley's driving. He's simply good. It was great batting by Coley. Looked good. Who was David Graveney? David Graveney was the former chairman of selectors of English cricket for 10 plus years. He's been around the game a long time. He played at a high level, at the county level. His uncle played for England for over 100 matches. Very prominent man. What caliber they should choose Vikram as next coach? He should be the top coach. He seems to be given a lot of credit. What's so special about Anderson considering he's always in form unlike other cricketers at nearly 4? Just knows his body, knows how to take care of it. If India get rid of Root and Pope early, they will win. Other batsmen are not confident. True. There's news correct that Jimmy Anderson will play his last test match. Won't play Ashes. That's why he's been given a long run with Old Trafford. You sound great. Where did you see that, Pratik? Varun Kumar. What time will this wicket start to deteriorate? It looks flat at the moment. At the end of the 5th day, for sure. Sudeep Majumdar, 125 more runs, England will be in the back foot. I think you're right. I think around the 300 mark. Pawan Kumar. Now, were you the host of that show with Chloe? Were you the host? Is that your role? Where are you based? Not wasted. Is there any players from the Australian Invincibles that are still alive? Yeah, they are. Neil Harvey is the only one. He was in the 1948 Invincible side. Neil Harvey's in the 92, 93. He's still alive. He's a good friend of mine. Can you tell us more about your YouTube channel's cover photo? That's a game of the SCG. It was the SCG 11 where we played a game, and I was the captain of that day, and we just celebrated after the match. I think Josh English next to start backing in the shot. Josh English, I think. Yeah, Josh. I thought it was Josh. Yeah, he's the guy from WA, correct. Ishant looks older than Anderson. He does. An Akash Chopra channel. Okay. Yes. Well, if India bats tomorrow, 2 sessions, they're not only going to be run away with this match, but also the series, correct? England bowlers will not be able to cope with the workload. Very true. Okay. Has the dispute between Australian players and Justin Langer sorted out? No, not really. It's ongoing for sure. What's the young Australian players you've always looked forward to? There's a whole lot of them. And Australian players. Well, Nathan Ellis seems to be someone who's good. He's young and got a hat trick. Cameron Green doesn't seem to go to the IPL. I don't know why, but no, he's not there. If Kohli and Jadeja can see the new ball off, get into past 220, then punt a free license to play shots, can push over 300 plus. Agree totally with Tucker. Both. Imagine those two together. Oh God. Be very impressive. Josh Philippe is another player. He's another player. Josh Philippe is another kid. Love you, Norman. You always wear a pink shirt. Thank you. The new X Factor World Series from Australia. Who is your favourite cricket writer? Oh, there's a few. I like Gideon Hayes pretty good. What was the reason of Jonathan? I think there's lots to do with mental state as well. England bowls shoulders are down a little bit. You have to understand that. Why are the best of the best Big Bash flop overseas? Because they're just not that good. Always feels Root on those pitches looking flat. Yeah, Root's going to be the one that they've got to get out. And that last thing, there's no doubt about that. Root will be the significant person to drop. Alex Carey, why is he on a picture? I don't know. Matthew Wade shouldn't be there either. It's going to be that Josh Inglis player. I think it'll be the one that'll come up. What does the wobbling ball mean? It wobbles because of the way they hold the seam, not down the seam, but across the seam, and it wobbles. And then it can go either way. Did you like to see? Absolutely. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All's good, guys. Like cloud to cover India players, but yep, Glenn Maxwell will be a key player. He will be, but they'll need more than him, I'm afraid. Why do you think cricket isn't famous across the globe? It is. I mean, Aberdeen not 999. It is, in fact, the second most popular sport after football. It is the second most. He's not bad. Fazia Mohammed, yeah. Your effort makes me smile. Lots of love. Thank you. Yeah, he may not want to be. Too much of a headache at the moment. What is going to be a venue for next World Test Championship? I don't know. It was meant to be Australia. It might return to Australia. That might be the other way of doing it. I don't know why they're still live. They're both live. It's bizarre. Herb Smith in contention for Ashes captaincy. Anil Prashanth, I don't think he will be. Tim Payne will be there. As long as Justin Langer's there, Tim Payne will be there. All right. Which Indian player you would love to hang out with? Kohli. I think Kohli would be good value. Any surprises at all for this match? I don't think so. I think it's going to be an Indian victory. England have to battle their skin to win this, and I can't see it happening. Who do you think will reach the second World Test? It'll be probably India with England, perhaps. What's your view of Kohli makes 71st century? Be great. I hope he does. Luxman says India reached 3.2 pacer spinner ratio. So going back to having both Ashwin and that together, okay. No, the World Test Championship finals won't be in Lords all the time. No, they won't necessarily be there. Yeah, we'll see about that. Do ICC use the same trophy for every World Cup? Good question. They do. I think there's a main trophy they use. They put all the names on it, the winning teams. They put replicas out to the teams. Gapal Valia, thank you very much. I want to request if you can get Bill Lowry in conversation with that. Bill Lowry, if I can get him, it'll be a miracle because at his age, I should try. Cameron Green should replace Christian and Henriques. He can come into the 320s. Yeah, it's interesting. I haven't really thought about Cameron Green very much, which is unusual. Who do you think is larger? Langer's. What do you think is Langer's weakness as a coach? He's just too hard. He's too intense. He gets quite aggressive. Cameron Bancroft hasn't batted well since he has been nothing near the player. His form is poor. He can't even play well at state level. Well, Manchester's pitch is bowler friendly. Conditions overhead again are bowler friendly. Why are all these Australian greats lose their aggressiveness when they become coaches? No, but Justin Langer has actually gained aggressiveness, not lost it. Yeah, I hope. Let's see how they go. How many countries you have travelled to? I've been to 103 countries. 103 countries. Tim Payne's performance is very poor last year. It hasn't been great, but that's all they've got at this point. Did you change your T-shirt? Yeah. When can we see Norman visiting India? As soon as we have COVID conditions changed, I will be there. There are talks of Steve Smith returning to captaincy. Will the Aussies accept that? No, I don't think they will. I don't think they will at all. I don't think he deserves to be captain anymore. Not that he's a bad person. He's a good player. He should be a player of the team, not captaincy. After what happened, his chances are gone. Jason Gillespie is Australian coach. He's a very good chance, as well as Trevor Bayliss and Andrew McDonald, who's the assistant coach. I'd love to. I've got plenty of evidence of what I've travelled, for sure. Absolutely. How many Indians scored second year thoughts are really important? Okay, I have to say that the 300 lead is what they should be after, at least. Maybe 320. So I haven't played Test series since India. So will they have any two populations? They got the one match against Afghanistan in November, and that's it. They're going into the IPL and the World Cup, and then they'll be in quarantine, and some of them may not be able to play the Afghanistan Test into the Ashes. Tom Moody, didn't coach well in the IPL recently, Trevor Bayliss, and he had some issues. Not a great fan of Tom Lee. Does a batsman grip on his bat matter in swing? Good question. Very good question. Bottom hand would probably become more important, yes, because you're playing late and under the guard and you're steering. You don't push through as much with your top hand. Good point. What Shane White is doing, he has a property there. He gets paid a lot of money to be in their media. Don't worry, he's a bit like the Richie Benham at the moment in terms of worth, I think. And Australian cricket needs to be very careful. Drifting power centres are effectively on the road. Yeah, Australia's a bit of a mess with it. Well, it's improved since the man that they've got in now as their CEO. He's Nick Hockley. It's improved since he's been in because it was in a mess before he was in, that's for sure. What do you think about who's winning this test? India, fight gaming. India. Dave Watmore might be a good coach. He certainly would be. He's coached Sri Lanka and he's done very well. He doesn't seem to be that popular as he should be in Australia. He was a great coach for Sri Lanka. He won the World Cup with them. Thanks, Shashank Kumar Mishra. I appreciate your comments greatly. Okay, somebody having problems with the live there. Okay. Amazing. All right. You should do our Aussie on Street show on whether Smith can be happening again. Who should be the next captain when coach? I will try to do that. Good idea. Do you think it's time to replace red ball with pink ball? For every test match? No. Why Tim Payne captain of Australia when his individual performances is not? Well, it's a good question. I think it's his last series. What happened to Michael Casper? We don't really hear from him. He was involved in cricket administration for a while. He was, and he's in administration a lot. He's a lawyer, I think. Lots of love, thank you. Can India win from here? Of course, Rishabh Shah. One more partnership in England is out of the game. Correct. What do you think now about the Hindu religion? A lot. It's a great, very well respected, very revered religion. Do you ask questions from the players in post-match conference? I could. I've got the link. I can, but I don't need to do that. I prefer to listen. Can Michael Clark be coach of Australia? I don't think he wants to be honest. I really don't think he wants to be. No, I don't think he wants to be. Seven, 3. Very good. Root already showing the pressure. He is for sure. Normally you can add people from the chat one by one. Well, to the show, I agree with you. Saha is an ordinary batsman, punter's future, yes. Can we see Marcus as new Australian captain after Ashes? Marcus Labuschagne? He's never captain at any level of cricket, whether it's park cricket, social cricket, grade cricket, state cricket in Southern Australia. He's unlikely to be captain. He's got no captaincy experience at all. You don't learn captaincy for the first time you're playing for Australia. Not a time to start. Good enough batsman, yeah. Deserves to be in the side at the moment, yes. But that's as far as it goes. I wouldn't. Yes. Sorry about Mark's head like a clown. Stark is not at his best. So I need to look beyond him. They're going to start having to do that very soon. I agree with you. It's certainly becoming a bit of an issue for them. I agree. I think Australian cricketers aren't focusing more on their 18. Oh, I think they've handled it very badly. It's part of the coaching problems. It starts right there. What the hell were they doing with such a lackluster? Why they play was called off early. Bad light. It was called off because of bad light. I watch all sorts of channels, not just cricket. I watch all sorts of channels. I like fun channels. Australia best opening pair, Adam Gilchrist and Hayden, my favourite, both brilliant players. Aggressive. First innings showed that England's biggest strength is Joe Root is also the biggest weakness. If they lose him early, I think you're right. They're relying probably too heavily on Root, and when he falls, it's a real problem. Pawan Kumar, Pat Cummins won't be the next captain. He's vice captain, but he'll never be brought up as captain, I'm pretty sure. Nice bloke, great bloke, gets a lot of respect, but I don't think he's a captain. No. Again, he hasn't had a lot of experience. He hasn't had a lot of experience. Okay. A lot going on in the world of cricket, that's for sure. Any more questions, guys? Because it was a great performance today. Rohit Sharma's 127 was a fantastic innings. He batted out of his first international 100. That was a daddy 100. Under the circumstance, that was a huge 100. Extremely important to open the batting for his country and score a century. Brilliant. What's my take on Gilchrist as coach? He'd be good. For Rahane batted positive, then he should score. I think so. My favourite Bollywood actress is Deepika Padukone by far. Bollywood actor, I like Shah Rukh Khan. I like him a lot. I would agree. Before 10 balls, yep. We'll see something will be more helpful. Bhavesh Deshpande, I don't know whether he's really that much in favour. Both the teams have failed to play ruthless cricket till now in the series like West Indies or Australia used to play. What is the reason? Oh, it's been a difficult series. Both have played well. Have you been to Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia? I've been to Saudi Arabia. Haven't been to Afghanistan. Okay. We'll sure. Root and Pope need to be removed early, but I believe Wokes might again provide same score. What's your take? He is dangerous. He can do a Ben Stokes. He could do it. He could turn the match if they allow him. You're right. Some very good points. So and again, guys, if you're online now, please view, like, and share the posts. Go about subscribing. Make sure that you hit the notification button. Again, subscribe to Eyes on Cricket. Is that Eyes on Cricket with Nolan Kochnik? There it is too. There's my t-shirt. There. Respected Norman, stop lying. You haven't watched a single show. I have, so Shanti Om. I have definitely watched that movie. Definitely. What score would enough to defend? 300. Need approximately around 355. That'll be a lot. You should watch Gangs of Wasseypur and Mirzapur, okay? Did you listen to the song Bullet Train? I think I've heard it. Are you following Paralympics? I have, yes. India's done very well. And Australia's done well too. India or England, who is winning this test, your prediction really means for us? I think India. Absolutely. The way Rohit got out is very disappointing. He just can't control the ball. Ankur Naik, Rohit Sharma has just scored 127 runs. Applaud that. Don't talk about his dismissal. Will Josh Inglis get a chance in the T20 World Cup? Good chance he will. I think they're including for a reason. Absolutely. Most bizarre stats going on here, guys. I'll tell you now. All right. Any more questions, guys? Your questions are important. $332. Guys, if you're online now, please subscribe. Please subscribe, and hit the notification button. If you need to win or lose, it all depends on Coley and others. True. So just sort of selection loading. I love it. Is Rohit Sharma better captain than Virat? In the long term, he may become a captain. You can't say he's better necessarily. There's a pull shot becoming. Manchester Chaudhary, he's got 6 times playing the shot, but he's also got 80s and 100. I don't think there's a problem. Is that his party's chance? Last chance? I don't know. I don't know. They like him. He may be a lot longer than that. He may be the next captain. Who knows? He was the captain. He won the game against the Gabba. He's done a great job. Is there any chance still left for Alex Hales to come back? He performed well though. He's on the nose from English cricket. He's done a lot of misdemeanors, illegal drugs, and the like. So he's not going to be brought back now. Do you think Jadeja can turn the ball in the 4th innings? He'll bowl well. I think he'll bowl well. What if Rahane scores 50? Will he still be in the side for future success? Yes, absolutely. Well, in the near future, yes. Is it just practice or instinct when it comes to slip catches? Who makes the call to go? It's practice for sure, and it's natural ability, and they do judge on their form in previous other formats. Certainly, they have a stat on who the best slip fillers are, and they'll go through them in some sort of order. And maybe a few in England are not doing well. India are doing very well. Thank you. Great way of putting it. Vintage Pujara. He was injured with his ankle, kept going. Brilliant to watch. Very much worth watching. Test cricket at its best. Anmol Sharma. Have you subscribed? Kartik Rai, have you subscribed? It's very sad to see none of the inventors of Australian cricket are not playing. Well, it happens. It happens. It's progression. If England play attacking cricket while batting, will it make India panic? Not panic, but they've got to be wary of that. Rory Burns needs to be removed from the slip cordon. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. His slip cordon work hasn't been great. Definitely agree with that. I don't know what's happening with that. All right. Pujara is short a bit, some concern around Rahane. I don't think there's really a long-term concern at the moment. We're recovering upcoming IPL. Definitely. I covered the last IPL, 29 matches, every single match, every pre and post. I'll do the same for the next 31. Can we give a chance to Ishan Kishan playing? No. When is India versus Australia Test Series? Not next year, the year after, I think. It is in November 2022. There's the Indian Australia Series, but there must be in India. Any chances of IPL getting shifted to England next year? No. I don't think so. Which team do you love the most? I like India, of course. I like Australia too. We're waiting for next Border Gavaskar Trophy. That'll be a while, but it'll be good. It was certainly good in the past, and it'll be good in the future. It'll be probably in 4 years' time in Australia, at least. All right, guys, we might start to consider wrapping up now. How do you see India's tactics as setting Jadeja at 5? It's to break up the right left-hand batting. It kind of works. Australia confirmed to play Pakistan with 3 Test series. What's your prediction? If it's in Pakistan, it will be 2-1. But which way is the question. Punt, a future we believe he does well. I think so. Manish Sapkal, my favourite is Kolkata Knight Riders, but I think Delhi Capitals will win, and Mumbai Indians are also a favourite, but I think Delhi Capitals will win. Tomorrow the day. See you tomorrow on day 4 preview. Good night. Take care. Thank you, Amaya More. Appreciate it. All right, guys, we're going to consider. It has a 6 and a 4 in it. If you know how to play leg spinner, back foot and front foot, there's 2 choices. As Salah, Cup, Namde. Okay. Good night. Love from India always. Is Australia going to host the next T20 World Cup? Well, they're meant to do it now, but I don't know what's happened there. I wish it could be the next Anderson thing. Your thoughts? Yeah, certainly. Absolutely. 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 Numbers been pretty good tonight. Have you visited the doctor for getting your shoulder fixed? Yes. Excelsior. RCB will lift IPL this year. They should have a good chance. Have Rabbitohs team playing cricket better broadcasted? No, they haven't played cricket yet, but they're doing very well in the this won their match today against St George. They're ranked 3rd. Semi-finals next week. The semi-finals start next week. South Sydney play Penrith. Thank you. How's the COVID condition in Australia? Manish? Well, it's pretty bad. We've got 1,500 cases a day. It's going up to 3,000 or 4,000. It's actually getting worse before it gets better. Yeah, and also Glenn McGrath, you might as well throw in there as well. All right, guys, have you all subscribed? Have you all hit the notification button for future sessions? Who do you think will win the series? India. Thanks to Streamhorn. Thanks, Buckledother. So you guys coming online now, how did you rate Pope's batting and the potential to become a future? Well, he looked pretty solid. I don't think he's quite there yet, but he's certainly got a lot of support. He's hit India with it. We all love him. Yeah, of course he's playing the leading bowler in the world. Of course he'd be loved. Have a good night. No one Rohit Sharma and Pudgy make good select. They certainly do. Usman Khawaja started the YouTube channel. I know. Pak Hums is a fantastic fast bowler. And Hansraj Decker. How are you, Hansraj Decker? You're new to this channel. Have you subscribed? Hansraj Decker, have you subscribed? Please subscribe if you haven't. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Hit the Twitter and the Instagram handle there. My Facebook page is my name and also LinkedIn. But the YouTube channel, I really want you to take advantage of. Very good situation. Have a good night. Right, okay. Yes, England will be the Priance Chandelier. They'll be the opposition for India. Thank you, Uncle Mate. Is Ashes the farewell series for Payne? I would say so. I would say. How many runs do you think it should be now? 320 in front, which will be around 400 plus Indian total. When you come pre-show tomorrow, Norman, I'm absolutely loving it. It'll be at the same time. We might get going, guys, huh? Okay. think currently Rizwan is the best weekend middle order batsman across all formats with his good consistency. He certainly is. He's batting very well. That's not suck at 9 and 3. It's going well. I'm going for sleep. Be safe. Always smile. Bye. Thank you very much. Priyant Shangala. Crazy numbers. That one there. Could Lovashan be the next captain? I won't want him to be. He hasn't captained at any level, Himanshu Chowdhury. He hasn't captained at any level, so it's unlikely that he will captain. Thank you. Millennium Miss Ashwin, a little bit. Norman, you're a true reader of the game. Love your narration. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Do you think Bunstead boy Chris Vernon will come on post show if England get rolled over tomorrow and India manage to win? Well, Banstead boys in Lanzarote in the Canary Islands. Chris is partying and while his dad's away, and Munchie's having a weekend where he's playing golf somewhere. So they'll come back. Don't worry. Do you drink coffee? I'm going to need to drink something in a minute because I'm starting to feel a bit tired, guys. In fact, do you want me to continue going? Tell me in your comments what me to continue. What is your view of the way Rowett got a bad decision? No, he's got 127. That's what we should be talking about. Good night. India 60, England 40. What's your thoughts? No, it's more like 70-30 at least, if not 75. I think it's something like 60. England's well below 40, and the draw's raising its position. September, India will announce the T20 World Cup record the date. It'll be September 7th, which is the day after the Test match, correct? Today's the 5th actually now. Yeah, it'll be the 7th. I know that. What are your educational qualifications? A Bachelor of Economics degree at Macquarie University. I did accounting. I did law, as an accounting law. I worked in the federal government tax office. I was a public speaker at one stage. England are totally out of this because India will need clutch. Yeah, if India don't get well out for 250 lead, which is only 80 runs, it's possible that could happen. Let's hope like hell it doesn't happen. But 3 for 270, they're heading for 400. Okay, let's be honest. Oh boy, time. Been on for 2 hours studying mathematics, guys. How much longer do you want me to go on? You gotta let me know. You've got questions to ask me, I'll answer them. It's question time, guys. It's question time. You ask questions, I answer it. Umpiring is serious, very poor. I think IC should bring neutral umpires soon. It's all about COVID. The unavailability of travel is the problem. Nolan Ali don't think he's a great for English player with Jack Leach. Well, it's a bit late to worry about Jack Leach in this Test match, and they may put him in for the last. Nolan Ali was not only included as a spinner, but also the vice captain. So his thoughts are going to be there for a while. Thoughts on the Ashes? It's going to be a tough series. Both sides are underperformed. England are going to miss Ben Stokes. That could be the difference. If Liam Livingstone plays, that could make a difference. I still think England are going to put a very big fight up. It may be a draw. England should have got a good chance. I watched you Donny with your mum on your channel. Thank you, Ash. That was funny, wasn't it? Well, cute at least, not funny. Cute. Very, very cute. think it's about time I go, guys. Unless you're asking me questions, I'll be considering going. Okay. Ponting said Australia lack finish like Donny. It could hurt them to a degree or not. Well, if they've got Glenn Maxwell there, they still have a chance. But too much pressure on him. Ash's prediction, Aussie 3, and mark my words, not because of you. Let's hope that Australia win. I don't want to see England win, but it's going to be an interesting series. It won't be one way. You know, Warner and Smith will need to prove themselves yet again. They haven't played cricket in 12 months. It's a long time. Long, long time. But look here. Okay. Upload that video again about you talking about my mother and Donny. Oh, well, can Pakistan make it to the final World T20 round? Karan Shahi, India, England, West Indies are definitely 3 in the top 4 for the semi-finals. Pakistan or New Zealand. So they get through, who knows? I think Pujara negotiated Moeen Ali by coming out of the crease regular thoughts. He did, but they actually put some fillers in there to counteract that. But he played well. Pity he got out. Real pity he got out. If Australia win the T20 World Cup, will Langer remain head coach for another 3 years? No. Well, they're not going to win the World Cup. So he's not going to stay. No, he's going in May next year. Do you think Leveson could sneak into the test squad? Absolutely. Absolutely. Your thoughts on Australia moving up in the order? It was a break up the right left-handed batting order. I got it. It kind of stabilised a bit. I don't think there's a problem with that. I think it's a reasonable thought. The break up the right hand, left hand combination. All right, guys. Let's go. Let's finish up now. That's enough. Thanks, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow in the morning for the pre-show and the post-show on day 4. We'll see India further surge ahead. Please view, like, and share the post. I've got videos there with Paul Collingwood doing his discussion. Please both subscribe to the YouTube channel. The people online, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I want to see your subscriptions there. I also want you to go about hitting the notification button, going to my Instagram and my Twitter, and also share on your WhatsApp, on your Facebook Messenger, on your email services, and by word of mouth. Do all that. But if Australia win, then Langer deserves to be as head coach. No, he doesn't. There's so many problems there. I can't see him staying. Why Cricket Australia has extended Langer tenure after West Indies and Bengals? No, it hasn't been extended. His contract was always till May next year. Nice stats today, and thank you. She's a sports journalist. Upon saying she's also studied IT and law. Her dad's a Minister of Communications, and she's a lot of great things going on in her life. I'm starting to feel it, guys. I think I'm tired. I'm going to go off. So all the best, guys. If you like and share the post, subscribe, hit the notification button. At Norman Koch is my Instagram and my Twitter. Norman Kochnik for Facebook and LinkedIn. Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnik. Subscribe, notification button, share, WhatsApp. See you all very soon. Good night, and should win the set. See you tomorrow.